No, here. Okay.
Wait, they can hear me?
Yep.
Very interesting. Oh, well, then it just... Anyway. So, clearly talking over an advertisement. No, it just started on my screen. But, so this is Magic Fish Radio. Normally, we play Exit to Eden. That's the ongoing campaign for this particular channel. For Saturdays, anyway. For Tuesdays, I don't know how the Vampire the Masquerade went.
It's coming back, but now they can hear me. It's coming back, but we're taking a few weeks off because holidays.
Fair.
So expect more from us on Tuesdays going forward.
Yep. So tonight we are playing Demon Hunters: A Comedy of Terrors, which is our interim game. Miss Priscilla is the Demon Master because that's who runs the Demon Hunters RPG.
Well, yep. And I'm the one with the uncanny ability to build modules in an afternoon. And you might be about to find out why. Anywho.
Yep.
Thank you, Merc. Also, the GM has no idea. The GM really sucks at tech. Sorry for the rough startup, everyone.
You're not a real streamer unless you have tech issues.
Yeah.
Penalty. False start. 5-yard penalty. First down.
I don't have a yard. This is New York.
Fair. I do have a yard. I'm quite delighted with it, actually. It's a very small patch, but I might put, like, food in or something.
So yes, Arcane the Sage. Well, Arcane the Sage. So the party will die by tech. Funny you should put it that way.
Oh, Lord.
But we will get to that in a moment. So yes, this is Demon Hunters, a comedy of terrors, which is really fun to run as a series of pickup one-shots. Me and Merc met through this game because we both run it for Zombie Orpheus Entertainment / Dead Gentlemen at the cons they attend. Or, I guess, I'd be willing to run it at any con, because it's a very easy pickup game.
Yep.
Basically, think of Buffy if it were a bit more organized, and, well, spoiler, at the end there are thousands more Slayers. So yeah, if it goes bump in the night, the Brotherhood of the Celestial Torch bumps back. There is not... Huh?
I would not characterize all the a lot of the Demon Hunters do not quite have the advantages of the Slayers.
No. But luckily, this system was written in part by a team of improv people, so it's fun to fail.
And, a normal guy with a shotgun can get just as much done almost as, a werewolf with a big old set of claws, depending on how the dice fall.
Yep. It largely... Can I do X? Largely, my answer is, well, how high did you roll? And joining us tonight is Merc playing Ratchet, and Tempto playing Herr Doctor, who is actually a canon character from the film series that this game is based on. But don't let that pressure you. Just, Herr Doctor is yours tonight. Play them as you will.
Fair enough.
And yes, so this is a world, I often describe it as World of Darkness, but funny on purpose. But it's got a lot of the issues. There's vampires, there's werewolves, there's fae, there's monsters, there's mad science.
And there are not aliens. There are no aliens.
Canon person has decreed there are no aliens. Not to say people don't still think they see aliens, but it's usually something else. And it's, not an uncommon cover-up story to just say, it's aliens, those aren't real, no one will care. Yay!
And it's not to say that things from the realms beyond are not real either, because...
But that's not, yes, even douchecraftian mythos is about other planes rather than other planets. I play a douchecraft priestess, and that's the only way I'll say that name on this channel. Anyway, we may or may not be in douchecraft country tonight, who knows? But yes, this, I have been slowly but surely writing a dozen modules set in New York City, where traditionally it was pretty quiet, until in 2008, some asshole decided, let's renovate Washington Square Park regardless of the fact that it's covering up a hellmouth. And by moving the fountain 5 feet to the left so it matches up with the Washington Arch, we have broken the seal on the Hellmouth. It's not completely open, but things have steadily been getting worse in New York City since 2008. And because of bureaucratic nonsense, the one senior team that was stationed in New York City has not been able to get more senior teams to join or get moved here or what have you. So, New York City's Theta 5 chapter has created something they call the program of Vigilante Tourism. And so your two characters are not technically in the same chapter, but because you were both well, actually, I think Ratchet might be from New York, at least at some point. Hair Doctor, you're a vigilante tourist. So consider that your chapter aspect that you have access to for using your faith dice, etc. Basically, Brotherhood agents come in from all over the world to take in a show and beat up some demons as needed. And it's a great way to run modules at a con when you can just hand someone a big book of pre-gens and a table of 5 complete strangers don't have to agree on using the same chapter. It's like, nope, we're all just here on vacation. Yeah, we'll fight some demons while we're here. Deal with some mad scientists. It's cool, it's cool. And yes. The canon expert has watched our stream, is tickled, and I think some of my stuff is becoming canon someday, if I can just get my shit together to publish it. But yes, so...
I know that feeling.
Yeah. One way or another, each of you gets to Rego Park, Queens, in a commercial office space over a closed-down dress barn, which is where the local Brotherhood chapter has its central headquarters, because that's where they can afford to have a central headquarters in New York City. Other chapter aspects include we do not validate parking.
We're here in New York City to defend it like we planned.
So your characters were picked up from LaGuardia or the train station or what have you, made your way to this office, which had a very, balsa wood, not balsa wood, but cheap wooden door with this insignia on it, indicating it as the Brotherhood chapter. And since both of you, at least in this timeline, are technically good guys, neither of you was incinerated from walking through the door. Yay!
Huzzah!
You walk in, and to one side there is a kitchenette. Straight ahead of you is a lady with an eye patch and a desk and a jalopy of an old computer. And next to her on the outside of the building is a door. Which we will get to in a minute, new player. There's a door to nowhere, huh? But yes, as you're both here in Fran's office, why don't you tell us about your characters? We will start with the veteran. Merc, who are you playing today?
I'm playing Ratchet. Ratchet's old enough to have taken the retirement package, sort of, but this isn't the kind of life you really retire from. Plus, he owes the head of the New York chapter some favors, maybe. So technically his rank would be somewhere in the Omega range, but when it comes to New York City, it's whatever you can take.
Yeah, New York City will take whatever boots on the ground they can, and for that reason, Omegas are generally treated as expendable by the rest of the Brotherhood. Here, they at least get a little bit more respect, because technically we're all expendable here. Or at least that's how the Brotherhood's been treating us. Please help.
He's on the taller side. Looks kind of heavy set. Wears a long, heavy jacket everywhere. For trench coat space, if nothing else. And he's got gray in his hair.
Mm-hmm. And Tempto, you are playing. We handed you the big book of pre-gens, and you picked
Herr Doctor. As the product of an advanced Nazi eugenics experiment, Herr Doctor spent his long adult life fighting against the sort of evils that birthed him, which is actually why I like the character to begin with. Thanks to rampant self-experimentation, he can sprint at 25 miles an hour for a quarter of a mile before he even breaks a sweat. Despite being over 70, he doesn't look a day over 30. Well, except for the baldness, but some people at 30 are kind of bald too, so it's okay. And the thick glasses. Okay, so beta testing gene therapy in itself does have its downsides, but it's all in the name of mad science. Ichabod definitely saw something in Herr Doctor as Herr Doctor is on Team Alpha One, and he has proven to be a valuable asset to the team.
Yep. And we'll just say, Herr Doctor, you can be here just for vacation. You can be a good guy, or you could be Well, you haven't seen the Demon Hunters movie, so let's just disregard that for now. That maybe hasn't happened yet. Everything in this town is timey-wimey.
Even mad scientists need vacation time.
Yes. New York City actually has an interesting relationship with Muahaha, which is the mad science union that is often at odds with the Brotherhood, but their union, and it's New York. So, but that's does not seem to be what Fran has you on today. So, you both approach the desk. In the kitchenette, there is decent enough coffee. There's a whole big bagel schmear, whole big bagel buffet set up because there's a very good bagel shop a block away.
Which is maybe the other reason it was set up here as opposed to just being affordable, Yep.
And Fran is in her way, slamming down the Bakelite phone with her eye patch and just shaking her head. And just, oh my god, alright, fine. Okay. Okay, good, you're here. So, something's already come up at noon on a Saturday. Is it noon? No, it's 1 p.m. Oh, fuck it. It is, we'll say it's August in New York City, so not the best time to come to tour New York, but it's cheaper. So, yeah, we've got an incident at a site that, so, there was this warehouse that was built on the site of a graveyard in Chelsea. And then it got turned into some kind of, comedy theater.
Oh, that's never gone wrong.
Yeah, I know. Well, on the upside, it was a colonial graveyard, so at least we're not talking about bad cultural stereotype bullshit. But still, even white people get bitchy if you disturb their rest. So actually more so. Oh, privilege. Anyway, so, Herr Doctor, as you're watching Fran move around, you notice that next to her is a pair of crutches because she is missing half of her left leg. And you're a little confused as to why she didn't get a prosthetic, because this is the Brotherhood and you were a mad scientist. What? Weird lady. Also, as you notice the crutches, you notice that there are also weapons stashed everywhere in this room. Guns, swords, knives, umbrellas, that might be other things, you're pretty sure. You think you designed that. So, yeah, they're doing something, they're calling it, the Del Close Marathon, I don't know, it's improv comedy for 48 hours or something, and it started at 10 a.m., and 2 people have already had to go to the hospital for, critical exhaustion. And there's 3 or 4 theaters involved in this, but they're both from the same one, and it's this graveyard theater. So it's what the fuck are they calling it? And she's shuffling through the notes on her computer. What is it? The Draw. Okay. So I got you both tickets to a 48-hour comedy marathon. So you can just go in, your tickets are at the box office, and just check it out.
Oh great, my favorite thing.
Yeah, improv people, it's, anyway, so, check it out. Could be nothing. I mean, comedians aren't really known for taking care of themselves in New York City. But, I mean, it's the people who went to the hospital, they're one was a nurse, the other was a stockbroker. These are just normal people. Not stand-up comic weirdos. So I don't know. Go find out. For all I know, it's just a gas leak. It's just that because of where it is, it pinged. So could be nothing, could be something. I mean, this does not negate your entitlement to Hamilton tickets tomorrow. That I promise you.
Now, I heard the Phantom was back on Broadway. You got any tickets to that?
I'll see what I can do. I mean,
Appreciate it.
Anything's got to be better than improv. But yeah, so yeah. Here's the address. If it turns out to be just like a gas leak or something stupidly mundane like that, let me know and I'll just channel it through, my local contacts, and the right people will take care of it before any more innocent comedians have to collapse and die. Or, well, they didn't. Nobody's dead yet, but it pinged. So, yeah, here is your 7-day unlimited Metro cards. They each contain a chip to help you get into the warehouse doors. That also expires in 7 days. So, Herr Doctor, Tempto, what the warehouse is a pocket dimension in space that the Brotherhood can access through doors all over the planet. And that is probably what the door to nowhere is in this office. Typically, canon-wise, only the chapter leader is supposed to have, they're supposed to have their signature weapon, and it has a chip or a charm to get them into the warehouse, but that's very limiting. So, whether or not we're going with that canon worldwide, in New York City, we do things differently, so everyone can access the doorhouse. Oh, Herr Doctor, it's nice to meet you. You gotta be careful with our warehouse doors. The interdimensional radiation coming off the Hellmouth is screwing with all of them, so if you go through one, leave it propped open. Because if it closes on you, you won't end up in an evil hell dimension, but you may not end up in the same doorway you went into, or even in New York City. That's why we had to have you fly in instead of just using the warehouse to get here, because we can't.
Understood. Are there any accommodations better than LaGuardia? That was quite the nightmare coming in.
Oof. You think LaGuardia is bad? I'm afraid, Herr Doctor, you may not survive the subway. Poor baby. But we've got you a decent hotel in Queens, which once you get used to the nightmare that will be the New York City subway for you, we've got you hotel rooms. They're nice. It's a nice, quiet place with extra, let's say, augmented security. But
trains didn't used to be this bad.
Well, they used to be worse. Well, I mean, that's what Stogie says, but Stogie is at least centuries old. So, I don't know.
I mean, the trains they didn't go where these trains go, but, you could be damn sure they were getting there, when they were supposed to.
Yeah, so, okay, so here's your mission. Could be something, could be nothing. You are both, highly experienced Brotherhood agents. Just keep your eyes open.
I'll turn to your doctor and extend the hand. Ratchet, combat medic, semi-retired. Nice to meet you.
You as well, Herr Doctor.
Yeah, you're all magic-y and you're all science-y. It'll be fun.
This is gonna be great. I know.
They aren't the same.
Just wonderful.
I mean, it depends on who you're asked that they're the same. Ask Granny Flax, ask Granny our night dispatch, and she's basically a technomancer, and I'm just like, you make better coffee than me, I accept this. Also, our warehouse door is right there if you want to tool up before you go. In GM terms, this is a good time to build some advantages before going into the field.
Yes, I will build an advantage of Mystic Art Kit. Using Mystic Arts, and let's go careful.
Oh, I know what I forgot to tell Tempta before we started. So I told you about the Faith Dice, which is a non-renewable resource. there is another set of d6s that renew with every roll, and they're called demon dice. And you can use up to 3 of them on any roll, and then I add demon dice to my pool, and it's absolutely fun. And where did my notebook go? Oh.
Every demon die we use goes into the DM's demon dice pool,
Yep.
and the demon master uses demon dice like we use faith dice.
Yep. And I start with 2. And this brings us to, while y'all are working out your die rolls, chat. We do things a bit different on this channel because no one has any money. You can influence the game and troll the GM and or the players by spending channel points. So you can spend channel points to buy faith dice in a pool for the players to use. And that's because it's fate, they use that to roll their aspects. And you could buy demon dice for me, and then I don't have to wait for the players to use them.
I just aced on both dice, so I rolled an 18.
Oh, good ace. Okay, I'm like, because ace.
No, not double ones.
Snake.
No, this is Savage Worlds acing. These dice exploded if I were rolling Savage Worlds rules.
All right, and I don't know I'm thinking because science, but I'm like, what could I make? I'm not sure.
Oh wait, also, Hair Doctor, you don't have this on your cell phone because you're first time here. We don't have enough money for the cipher robots to go with you, so Granny created a sentient piece of software that basically turns your smartphone into a cipher.
Oh, very good.
So, do you want me to just send you the link?
Sure. Is that to be acceptable?
It's so basically, I just turned your cell phone into a cipher. You're welcome. I'm sorry. Because no one ever.
This is not the Van cipher.
I suppose it depends on how it turns out as to whether you should be sorry or not.
Alright.
Is there anything specific that I should work on creating as an advantage, or?
Well, given what you've been told about the situation, are there any mad sciencey devices that might help Hair Doctor with what problems you know there are to begin with?
I'm thinking maybe I might be able to make something like a flash grenade that makes ears bleed too.
I mean, I'm not gonna say you can't.
Okay. Could use research and development with that. So.
Yes.
And then use because science.
Overkill? Maybe just enough kill.
There is no kill like overkill.
And even with the science, that's a 3.
Oh, wait, you roll. So did you roll?
That's a big oof.
Did you roll an approach and a discipline?
I rolled the discipline. I did not roll an approach.
You're new, so you should roll 2 dice.
Okay.
So I will let you roll an approach. Add that because I did not explain it fully.
Let's do the clever then.
It's like Roll of Darkness in that you add an approach to a discipline, like an attribute to a skill.
Okay, well that was a little better. That was a 12 then. So.
Okay, so Ratchet, you said you got an 18. Ratchet?
Yes, I got an 18. Sorry.
Okay.
I thought you were talking to Doctor for some reason.
Ratchet, so what do you want to call your... Do you have a clever name or just want to call it, like, Mystic Kit?
Loaded for comedy.
Perhaps you could have some party streamers that come out.
And that's
yeah, I'm sure that'll be very helpful.
So with a 10, you'd get 1 free invoke. With above a 15, which is a succeed with style, you'd get 2. So that has 2 free invokes on it.
The Hair Doctor cannot use mostly because his Mystic Art skill is a D4.
Sure.
You know, it depends on how hard you bullshit.
Actually,
like any other improv.
Doctor's Mystic Ox is a D6.
Yep. Okay, so Herr Doctor, what did you roll for your what are you calling your advantage and what did you roll?
I am calling it the Blinding Ear Bleeder. And I rolled a 13.
Okay, so that would be 1 free invoke, but if you added a demon dice to your total roll, and you have to add faith dice, or you have to declare using faith dice before you roll, but you can add demon dice before, after, during, whatever you want, and you only have to add them 1 at a time. Just, make sure to tell me if you roll a 1 on a demon die.
Because then bad shit happens immediately.
Not necessarily immediately.
I
Fair.
sense a demon master is attempting to tempt me.
Yes, this is the real game within the game. It's like, would you like some demanders?
I do believe I would like 1 demonic dice.
Succumbing to temptation.
Yay.
That is a 1.
Oh, huzzah! Well, you can. So now you're at a 14. So you would
14.
just have to roll 1 more 1, and you would get a free invoke, an extra free invoke.
As a doctor's a perfectionist, so yes, he will.
You're playing Hair Doctor better than you know.
That is a 2.
Damn. All right, so that is a 16. So that also gets 2 invokes on it. Unless you'd like to try a third Demondus and get it to a 20, which means it would have 3.
Oh, my luck is not that good.
Oh. Mwahaha. Think of the fun I can have with an advantage built with a demon dice that rolled a 1.
Makes me glad I'm the combat healer.
Yes, there we go. Oh, this is gonna be a good game.
Boom! Crash! Awkward silence.
So go
Medic!
Bang! So fun fact, so yeah, the warehouse, they don't keep artifacts or mad science stuff. Well, or rather, they don't keep artifacts or finished mad science, machines in the warehouse. It is all mundane. However, Mystic Arts and R&D can use mundane items to make their own mystic and science-y artifacts. And so that is what the warehouse is for. Any mundane, like, guns, weapons, rosemary, sage, parsley, and thyme, whatever you need.
Wild rice, tulips,
Yep. I think there was a unicorn hunt and someone got, like, some raw meat because they were not the kinds of unicorns that are popular in culture. That was a good one.
I had a silent gym player pull 3 gold bars, gold bullion, out of the warehouse to pay off some sheep farmers because it was that one.
I mean, that's not... It might not have been real gold, but yeah, I'd allow it. They might have to roll for whether or not it's real gold, but yeah.
They had to roll for being able to carry it because it was gold and it was fucking heavy.
All right, so y'all are tooled up for a wonderful afternoon of comic genius.
Boy.
And yep, the very easy to get on the R or the it's a Saturday, so I think it's just the R, but then change that to the E, and then take that to Chelsea, and then walk west.
Question: could I buy a vowel?
Which one, and how much are you willing? How many demon dice are you willing to spend for it?
Oh, it's demon dice wager. Oh no, I think not now.
Fun fact: sometimes when I run this at cons for brand new players, I use navigating the subway system as teaching them to roll dice. I'm like, here's a subway map. Figure out how to get there from here to there, and roll for it. And yeah, it is good times. But this is a 3-hour stream, or slightly less than 3 hours. So yeah, is there anywhere either of you want to stop by on your way to the Draw Theater?
I've always wanted to see Times Square.
Times Square could technically be between you and this theater.
I'm sitting here kind of... The impulse is immature, but I want to stop at a pie shop.
At a what shop?
A pie shop. No, we're not. No, I'm just no. It's an immature impulse to have a pie to throw it at a comedian.
Oh,
But
okay.
no, we're not doing that.
Well, technically that's stand-up and this is improv, but Ratchet may not know the distinction. So yeah, if you
Yeah.
want to pick up a pie, there is a Gristides in the neighborhood, and they have pies.
No,
I'm not
beneath
saying...
my dignity. Plus, it would make me involved in the comedy.
All right, so
That's the last thing I want to try.
so Herr Doctor, do you insist on walking through Times Square before getting to Chelsea?
Indeed, I do.
All right, you get to Times Square,
Oh, great, rubberneckers.
and a man dressed and well, someone dressed as Elmo starts asking you for money. Hey,
Disney-
I'm Elmo. Give me money.
Disney has not paid you?
I don't work for Disney. I'm from the Children's Theater Workshop. The Disney only owns the Muppet Show Muppets.
And they don't pay you?
Disney
It's
doesn't
public
own it.
broadcasting. I don't think anybody gets paid.
Public broadcasting. Nobody gets paid.
Unfortunately, I have no money to give you, furry one.
Is that true? Because
No.
that would be a sneaky social engineering,
Sneaky social engineer. Sneaky. Oh,
which
they're
are both
D4s, yes.
D4s.
All right. Good times. And that is a 4 and a 2, so 6.
Would you like to add some demandis? Because the other costumed characters are starting to zero in on you.
You are going to get us both arrested. I'll go up and punch Elmo in the face.
Oh, you do that?
No.
Oh no, okay.
No.
Hey,
Oh.
this guy's holding out on me! And then there's a Cookie Monster costumer and a Grover and a Statue of Liberty that's gold.
I am going to I'm going to do some off the cuff magic to try and fixate them on somebody else. Just redirect them onto some asshole with a designer belt buckle or whatever nearby.
There are those around.
Yes, there are always those around. I'm going to do it. No, I'm going to either quickly or sneakily. I want to do it cleverly. I really do.
I would allow this to be clever if you're just trying to deflect.
Cool. Clever mystic arts. I'm going to do some magic bullshit to make them think they're actually talking to this asshole with the fancy belt buckle,
Okay.
who's also on a cell phone.
Yep.
That one
And he's got a Starbucks in his hand. Or a
Yep.
Starbucks coffee in his hand, not the whole Starbucks.
16.
Ooh, succeed with style. So, what does Ratchet's magic look like?
Ratchet's magic is quick and dirty. He learned how to, do the big rituals and stuff as a younger man. But when he went to the battlefields and he did serve the Brotherhood in Europe, he learned how to do off the cuff magic quickly and quietly, so it doesn't get as much attention from anybody who might try and come eat him. In this case, metaphorically, but reaches into his pockets and pulls out some yellow powder and a candle real quick, and just kind of sprinkles some of the powder on the candle, which somehow lights, but quietly. It just lights up like I hit it with a lighter, and yep, push. Nothing terribly, no, not a big flame, just now it's on, like you turned it on, but it's a real candle. The flame, does a weird kind of wobble, like it blew in a wind, and then it wobbles in another direction and then blows out. But the smoke curls around the guy with the fancy belt buckle.
Herr Doctor, I'll say that just because, well, you're you and you've been a Brotherhood agent for decades, you could sort of, you don't have a super high mystic arts roll, but you know what magic sounds like, even when someone's being secret about it. But and you see, fire and dust and smoke, but what you smell is water.
And what you hear
weird.
is Hindi. He says a couple of words in Hindi.
Yeah, I'd say Herr Doctor, you may not speak Hindi, but you know what it sounds like, because y'all been around the block. You are both super old World War II veterans who don't look don't look as super old as you could, which is really funny to me.
Yep.
So yeah.
I would also like to point out that I believe Ratchet also participated in the Great War.
Yep, could be that old. So yeah, so Ratchet does a thing. You smell water, and all of a sudden Elmo's like, "Get him!" but goes past you towards this douchebag with like his knit cap and his Starbucks and his cell phone and his fake hipster hippie clothes that are very much designer, but they're meant to look cheap because classism is bullshit.
You know, one of the people who lives in a gentrified brownstone.
And
you
then,
know,
yes,
Gotcha.
yes.
Yep. Okay.
And buys, you know, everyone should eat organic because of course everyone can afford to. Blah. And Giant Elmo and all of the Muppets go in for a hug as the Statue of Liberty dances, and Times Square is everything you imagined, Herr Doctor. Everything. As, you know, this happens, a whole bunch of people line up with cell phone cameras or cameraing at both locals and tourists alike. In fact, one of them is a cop. And yeah. So moving on. And yeah,
That's
so
great.
you make it to the draw. Which isn't a very it's very much looks like an off-Broadway it's just it doesn't really look like a theater from the outside. Like, it's very nondescript, it's very run down and cheap looking, but it's also converted out of a warehouse because this is, you know, Chelsea.
Yeah.
And a lot of warehouses have been converted into theaters, like, or Sleep No More is the biggest one, but that is like a whole nother level of what the fuckery in theater, but in a good way. Also art galleries and things, but this is kind of rundown looking, and it has a sign up, you know, the draw. And there are some folks outside smoking and drinking sodas. Some of them are already drinking beers. It's 2 p.m.
But there are some are smoking, some are vaping.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's vapes now. And they're just all sort of talking excitedly and laughing, and it looks like some of them are improvising comedy right out on the street because it's fun and people are having a good time. And yeah, there's a door to go in, and yep. So,
look at the doctor. Look at her, doctor. What do you call 4 idiots on the street telling jokes?
An improv troupe?
Those guys.
That was quite humorous.
This is gonna go great. So yeah.
One of my stunts is sarcastic because I'm a grumpy old man. I get +2 against flashy approaches.
That may come in handy today. So yeah, you walk in, and there isn't a box office. There's like one big counter that seems to be the bar, but there's no tap. They're just selling like things in bottles and cans, including beer at 2 p.m., but whatever. And then there's one kind of, it's to the left as you walk in, and then to the left of that is like a part of the counter that's more like a podium. And there's a guy there who seems to be handing out, taking money, checking a list, handing out, not tickets, but wristbands. Just this guy with kind of short, kind of reddish blonde hair and glasses and a little bit beardy. It's like young dude. And that is probably the ticket counter. There is a sign behind the bar area that says, "Follow the fear," in great big light up letters. But people,
you know, I had somebody tell me that same advice once in Europe. That's when we found the red caps. The other question is, of course, what do you think the name that Fran set up for us here? I don't know. Just show up to the podium and say we're with the Brotherhood. Where's our tickets?
She actually just what are fake names you gave the Brotherhood for tourism purposes coming in today? What are your chosen fake names?
Um,
That's just part of the package. The thing you have to do if you're coming in as a vigilante tourist, unless you want them to use your real name, which some people do. But, you
Well, I
know.
mean, Herr Doctor is a mad scientist, so he just used Herr Doctor.
Okay, so hair doctor.
Jeffrey Combs.
Man of 1,000 alien faces. Good choice. So yeah, you go to
He's the voice. Hatchet in Transformers.
Oh yes, and he does. Yeah, man of 1,000 voices as well. So yeah, so you go to the ticket counter. He's like, oh okay. Hair doctor is
Yeah.
okay. Yep. Okay, cool. And hands you a blue wristband. And Jeff.
Ooh.
Oh, cool. You have the same name as Jeffrey Coombs. That's cool. And hands you your wristband.
Yeah, real coincidence.
And he looks at you kind of quizzically because this is clearly a nerd who knows who Jeff Coombs is.
I get it all the time, kid.
Okay, cool. Are you are you from out of town improv theaters?
We have an interest in this theater.
Do you do improv?
Only when I have to.
Oh, so you do other kinds of theater.
I certainly perform to the best of my abilities when it's required of me.
Aaron Combs.
Okay. God damn it, Arcane the Sage. God damn it. But
complete accident, but yes.
more puns, please. Oh, Great Justice gave me a demon dice. Thank you.
Ooh.
Yes, yes. Use your channel points. Let me make sure I didn't miss any others. Nope. Buy me demon dice with your channel points. Woohoo! Moha. So, alright, where are we? Where are we in plot?
He's just asking us if we perform, and I'm just like,
okay, well, here are the schedules. This is happening here at the Draw, also at CDC, which is a couple blocks away, a couple blocks east, and the Sit, which is 2 blocks uptown.
I heard that this one was particularly wild.
I mean, it's early, but, you know, yeah, some people have been pre-gaming. There are people who just decide to not sleep for the entire 48 hours. And some of them decided to not sleep last night either. I get, based on how tired everyone is, or a lot of people are. But, yeah, there's... We don't have as much... I am not allowed to tell you where the wild stuff is, but if you look hard enough at the Sit, you'll find a very smoky room.
Fair. No, I was referring to the people who apparently collapsed or something.
Arcane the Sage has bought a custom NPC, the mysterious Mr. Rogaine.
Meteor bought one. Elvis.
Meteor.
Just Elvis.
Yes, that Elvis. Okay. Behind the...
Thank you very much, Fadier.
Behind the pseudo bar, you both recognize the slick back hair, older gentleman. So people pay $2 for a cheap craft beers. Thank you very much. And he swivels his hips, and everyone seems to think this is totally normal and not weird at all. So yes,
I thought he was dead.
I mean, I heard he'd been abducted by aliens, but we both know that's a crock of shit.
True.
He's just living the simple life. He also works at a diner. Yep.
On the other hand, do you really want to be at the pointy end of the rush if people found out it was really him?
No, true. No, thank you.
Live and let live.
Yeah, looking around the crowd here, there are definitely people from out of town, but they're just kind of all walks of New York City life. Hipsters, yuppies, regular working class folk, and everyone seems to be into improv. It is not as racially diverse as it could be, and definitely white boy heavy, but still there's some diversity here.
With my trained medical eye, can I see? Because the guy said that people were, staying up 48 hours, all 48 hours, partying hard or whatever.
But it's day one. It's been 4 hours.
It's been 4 hours, and you already had 2 people collapse. And he's like, yeah, people are tired around here. Didn't decide not to sleep last night or something. I would like to see what the general vibe of the, are people, are they buying beers? Are they buying energy drinks with beers? Which is I forget exactly what that's called, but,
they don't.
You know what I'm talking about?
They don't have Monster here, but they have, just Coca-Cola. They have just, caffeinated sodas, Mountain Dew and stuff like that. So make me a roll.
All right, I would like to, because most of my healing is magical, I would like to use my mystic arts for this.
I'll allow that.
Okay. And I will not press that again. Ah, shit. Hang on. I clicked off my character sheet. Hang on. I gotta open Demon Hunters.
Apparently the theater's being combed for clues.
More puns!
So mystic arts and careful, I think. I want to look at the people very carefully.
Okay. Makes sense.
Make sure I don't miss anything. I'm not actually doing anything magical, maybe just vibing for it, but I'm not using active
You did not take out a stethoscope and force down one of the improv nerds onto a chair and
no. Funny, but
shine
no.
A light in their eyes.
11.
Okay, so I wrote this shit down for a reason. Where did I write it? Good job, Chris. Blah blah blah. Okay, so yeah, it's 2 p.m. on a Saturday. The dude at the counter also handed each of you a schedule, which is really just a folded up piece of 8.5 by 11. But there's a QR code that says for more information on teams for more information on Del Close, the theaters, the teams, etc. Please go to the website, because they can only afford a very cheap pamphlet, and you can kind of see why. So this started at 10 a.m. It is about 2 p.m. and people are more tired. Maybe they didn't go to sleep last night, but people are very tired. Not everybody, but some specific people, and especially specific groups of people you see together, are very, very tired. And what else? And well, I mean, I could give you more if you got to a 15. Might be worth it.
I rolled a 4 on my D10, so I'm going to spend a faith dice to re-roll it.
Oh, fine.
Because I can do that after I roll. Shit. I can also drop my die on the floor.
Damn.
Beg pardon.
I'm writing this in pen. Chat.
Plus 7 is 16.
Oh, god damn it. Alright, well, okay, so exceptional success. So at first you're like, yeah, these people seem very tired and depleted, but then the mystic arts part of the role kicks in, and this is not staying up late, this is not day drinking. Some of the only way you can kind of interpret it is that, people have auras, they generate energy fields, both physically and mystically, and are they the same thing? Who the fuck knows? Science and magic have been debating this in the Brotherhood for a very long time. But it's it almost looks like their auras have been chewed on, or siphoned off, or something. spiritual energy is not usually affected by staying up all night. And that is bad. That is potentially very bad and very strange and very not a gas leak. And you can definitely see there are people in varying levels of depletion. Some people who are almost dead on their feet and might be about to collapse. Others who are like, seem to be feeling it a little bit. And it looks like they've got dinged a little bit. And others are just fine. It hasn't hit them at all. So yeah. That's... Whatever it is, it hasn't affected everyone. But you're not sure what the connection is. You also, with an exception, get kind of like... Out of the corner of your eye, there's sort of a glimmer, and you look back over at the guy at the ticket counter. Mm-hmm. And he has a slightly stronger mystic vibe. Not a huge one, but some people are just sort of natural sorcerers or like dabblers. So he wouldn't have the same magical aura as, say, like Harkadian or even Shay when they were alive, or more properly alive. That's a whole nother story. But yeah, it's like, so that you see that dude's got a touch of the mystic to him, and doesn't seem thus far to be affected by whatever is causing the aura numbing. And you can say, like, sometimes the stronger ones, it looks like it's so their auras are weakened, but the ones that have only started to sort of degrade, it looks like they're being chewed on. They've something chewed on their aura.
That's why I'm selling it. It's got a large bite out of it. Sorry. That's the Iron Giant quote.
But yeah, so you have discovered the scene aspect. Marathon level exhaustion.
So I'm gonna...
And while you're looking at him, this one drunk guy kind of staggers out of one conversation and towards you and is like, "So, are you a ninja, a pirate, or a robot?"
I'm a medic, sir.
No, that's not the thing, though. It's not the thing. And another man approaches Herr Doctor and is like, here is my card. It has been categorically proven that improv can fight against male pattern baldness. I'm Mr. Rogaine, and I run my own small improv theater in the East Village.
Oh, God.
And,
Fate here, redeemed an NPC, a Frankenfurter. Tag along for the Herr Doctor.
So... Okay, that's an improv idea. Another person kind of walks up to Herr Doctor, and they are just dressed in the corset and underwear and heels. But they have to have bike shorts on over the underwear, because otherwise, it's a public...
Yeah.
Well, I think you'd be excellent with us at Mr. Rogaine's theater. What do you say about it? The first class is free. After that, it's 6 weeks of classes for $300, which is a steal in New York City.
Well...
And you get 50. After that, additional classes are 50% off if you bring another member. Bring in another student, and so you have discovered the scene aspect, the friendliest pyramid scheme you'll ever join, i.e. the improv scene.
Well, as much as your offer is tempting, I am rather busy and unable to commit 6 weeks. And as to the male pattern baldness, I think I'm well beyond that point.
No, I think, improv is absolutely magical. I'm sure we can work something out. Don't you worry. I used to look like you, and now he has,
You can see Ratchet behind this guy's back, just looking at Her Doctor going...
No. The bald gives me character.
No, but it's like a ninja pirate robot. It's like what kind of improv performer you are. So like
I
it's a
said
thing.
I'm a medic, which doesn't really preclude any one of those things, but gives you as much information as you need, really.
So yeah, you are being besieged by improv people who have smelled new blood. And you might
Wonderful. Maybe you can watch out for your buddy over there who's about to fall on his face. I said I point to one of the more depleted people who are, in fact, just about to fall on their face.
Yeah, they're getting there.
Needs that guy. In my prescription, that guy needs a bagel, a mug of coffee, and about 6 hours of sleep. So I recommend that you go and take care of him because I thought all the improv people stick together and take care of each other.
Well, no, but it's like the marathon, man. Like I'm not gonna sleep tonight. Like it's gonna be fine. Like you just gotta get a second wind, you know?
You know what gives you second winds? The bean burritos from the stand down the street.
Oh yeah, I'm not making that mistake again.
Don't fucking die.
No, but so you don't. Wow, you don't do improv, and why are you here?
I'm here because 2 people have collapsed already, and it's my job to make sure that more people don't collapse.
Oh, it's just the marathon, though. Like you'll find people.
It's 4 hours into it.
Yeah, but some people started last night. You know, and you are not getting a good sense of self-care among these folks. Actually, the dude at the counter's like, oh wait, you hear about I wrote down their names. So you're here about Kayla and Barry?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, like are you like EMTs or are you looking at or are you cops? Like that's fine with me, but don't tell them.
I'm sorry, say that louder. I can't read your lips.
He's like, are you cops?
Okay. No.
Are you cops? It's like, oh.
I said I was a medic, and I meant it.
Okay. Yeah, like Kayla and Barry, they just they came off stage after their set and they just passed out in the middle of the floor. And
Which stage?
Actually, no, because Barry was in the first set at 10 a.m. This one, and he walked in and then passed out, and we called an ambulance and got him, you know, sent off for help. And that was like at 10:30, and then at like noon, Kayla came off stage from her group set and did the same thing. And it's just like, it's.
Well, you serve coffee here? Open coffee?
We have some like bottled coffee drinks, but not really real coffee. But there's a bodega down the block, so most people go there for the coffee.
All right. You, and you. I point to the 4 or 5 or whatever, who are, you know, on the verge of collapse. Come on, we're getting coffee from the bodega.
Yeah, I'm fine. I don't need coffee. I just need improv. I'm fine.
Listen, you want a second wind?
No,
you
it's gonna happen. It's fine. Ratchet, you exceptionally successed on your role. Coffee will not help these people.
No, but me doctoring their coffee will.
Oh, okay.
And I need it to be open coffee for that to happen. So I need to, you know, hand them open cups of coffee that I can't have, you know, done my magic bullshit over.
So the guy at the
ticket... coffee won't help them, no, but the coffee I give them will.
Okay, so the dude at the counter dude looks a little weird. He's like, no, go with Mr. Coombs or Dr. Coombs.
Medic only. I never got my PhD.
Okay.
I'm the doctor here.
And he's got 4 of them.
Oh, so
I think he's got enough for both of us.
So it's Dr. Hare.
No, hair doctor.
Oh, okay.
Doctor, hair doctor.
So these folks, like, go with them. It's fine. Just, get them some coffee. It's probably,
Right.
You know
So,
how comedians are. It's.
I will lead the trail of zombies down to the bodega in the corner, and I will order coffee for them, and I will hand it to them. I will take it from the window and hand it to each one of them, and I will roll Mystic Arts and Sneaky to try and do this without them noticing me doing it.
They're all like, "But Carl, we don't want to." He's like, "No, go with them. Just get some coffee, and then you'll come back and be fine." But I'm on stage in like an hour or something. Go get this. And yeah. So there's
and I am going to, because this is not a very good role for me, but I really don't want them to see me.
They're not seeing much. They're kind of like, a couple of them are kind of leaning against the outer window of the bodega.
In that case, I'm going to do this carefully, but I'm also going to tap my aspect of grumpy old man to keep them obeying my will, basically.
Mm-hmm. Herr Doctor, did you go with them?
I did. I pulled up Zuria to make sure everybody went.
Yeah, I will tell you. I will, as we're cutting them out the door, I will, whisper to you that these guys have, it's. So I title up to you as we're cutting them out the door. These ones. I mean, it's not just these ones. These are just the worst ones. I need to fix them up, but
no, man,
all of them have been chewed on. They're always chewed on. If you got anything that detects that, or
no, man,
if you can get your fancy dancy little mobile whatever the fuck to check out this theater.
Of course.
No, I'll drive. And just no one in particular, because he's just sort of standing up against the door frame into the bodega, which has its door propped open because it's August, and he's like, no, I'll drive.
So that's a 4, a 4, and a 7. So that's 15. Yeah.
Okay, so succeed. So is this building an advantage, or is this a?
I think this is more like overcoming an obstacle, because I'm trying to remove conditions from them, essentially. Kind of overcoming their exhaustion.
I'll allow it, yeah. It's yeah, that's right.
So what happens is basically roll up on the bodega, I go in the front, and I'm like, black coffees.
Yeah, 4 black coffees, and yeah, the lady at the counter is like, okay, and yeah, it's like, so that's like $5.
Yep. I'll slap the
really
money
bad.
down.
It's not great coffee, but it's strong.
Yeah,
she does
I'll take each cup as she pulls them, and I'll just turn around and add something that you can't see. Yeah. It's tulip petals and yellow powder, and I whisper the invocation over each of them, and then I hand it to each person. It probably tastes a little bit funny, but it's hard to tell over the coffee.
Yeah, coffee will kill any other taste, especially straight black bodega coffee.
Yep.
And these are all Sichet white boys. Well, as far as you can tell, Sichet white boys, and they have no taste.
Yeah.
Oh wait, sorry, Temto.
It's okay. No, you're right.
we don't get a lot of those on this channel.
I know.
That's not true. Well, I don't actually ask anyone for their Sichet stats, so who knows?
Yeah. But it's okay.
Nope.
Trust me.
I'll hand
I kind of hate my own sometimes, but sorry.
Sichet white improv boys have no taste. Ask me how I know. But yeah, so yeah, with the 16, you are able to and
quietly just kind of hand them coffee to keep them from falling over, because this isn't their fault, nominally.
Yeah. So it doesn't fix everything, but they are definitely a lot more on their feet than they were before the coffee, and they're like, this is horrible, but I feel so much better. Thanks, man. So
I said, you start feeling bad again, get out of there, get a bagel, get a nap. It'll be better.
Okay, Dad. What do you do, Dad Prov? Lol.
I get him by the front of the shirt and I pull him right up in the front, and I can do that. He's on his toes at this point. Listen, kid. I'm trying to make sure that you don't end up in the hospital.
Fine, I'm not gonna end up in the hospital, man. Like, what the hell? 2
of your buddies already have. I'm not joking around when I ask you to do things.
No, Kayla's not my buddy. She's a total bitch. Like, she wouldn't even go out with me.
She was part of your improv scene. Whatever. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is I'm trying to keep the hospitals clear for the people who actually need it. And I let him go, and he falls on his heels if he doesn't end up on his ass.
He ends up on his ass.
While all this is going on, once I've made sure that everybody has made it to the bodega, I'm going to go back to the theater.
Ratchet has things well in hand, dealing with 4 spoiled improv boys.
And I want to take out the phone that is now, what did you call it, a Sentinel?
Or Cipher.
They're called Ciphers. Yes. It's the standard issue robot for a Brotherhood chapter.
Okay.
But things are weird in New York, so you get a cell phone cipher.
Yep. And that's okay. I want to actually take it out.
So the cell phone cipher basically acts as an additional advantage, or as is basically an extra team aspect. Okay. So Vigilante Tourism and cell phone cipher. So you can use that. You don't have to use Faith Dice to invoke it, but it'll add to your rolls with that if you want to do a ciphery thing while not being a cipher.
Okay, and can I use this cipher to scan like the stage area where these guys were right after they collapsed? Okay.
Ciphers are basically designed to scan many different types of radiation wavelengths, both mundane and mystical.
Okay.
Some amount of like particle tracing, etc. So yeah. So yes, you now have a Star Trek tricorder in your cell phone. Sort of.
Widdly. Captain Star Blood is made of widdly wee.
All right, so I'm gonna do this.
Because nerds built this game.
There you go.
Cheers, bro! I'll drink to that.
So, what would I roll to scan this area?
Well, you are Hair Doctor, and you are yourself a cyborg.
Yes.
So, let's see. So R&D would work because you were scanning using a piece of scientific equipment, sort of.
And I'm gonna do it carefully. I want to take my time with it.
Okay. Yeah.
So, well, that's a 1 on the careful, but that's a 5 on the.
Oh
on the
my
R&D,
God!
So 6, yeah.
Use a different D12, man.
Well, no, the 1 was on the D6 this time, so it's okay.
So like I said, that scores you a Faith Dice, which you can then spend immediately to re-roll that 1.
Yes, I think I will spend that Faith Dice to re-roll that 1. So
your roll sucks less.
Yes.
Oh, thank you for the Demon Dice. Great Justice Games. I love you as a new viewer. Please stick around.
And so that turns that 1 into a 4, so that's a 9 total.
Okay, well, the difficulty is a 10. So would you like to add a Demondus? Because all you need is a 1.
It's so tempting, and yes, I think I have to. And that is a 6.
Hey, suck it.
So that's a 15.
We just succeed with style.
Succeed with style. So, why don't I write my notes to be legible? No, it's not even writing notes. These are typed. Why can't I... Where's all the things I wrote? Okay. It's because you're doing things out of order. Boo-hoo. No, it's fine.
Apparently, no keeping the faith.
No keep faith.
Let me tell you, Arcane the Sage, you are on point with these tonight.
So, with an exceptional success... the scanner does hone in on the aural bodies, and you see basically the same thing Ratchet did, but like with your sciencey senses, because ciphers can pick up.
What do your science eyes see?
Yeah. You also see that the dude at the box office, that one of the drunk guys called Carl, is also a little bit magic.
Okay.
Another thing that you in particular pick up on, because it's kind of one of your things, is that there is definitely some ghost energy in general, and so next to Carl is a small shelf jutting out of a wall between the big bay windows of the front of the storefront, and you saw there was a skull on it. You just sort of, that's like a goofy nerd thing, whatever. No,
Alas, poor Yorick.
That's a human skull. That is an actual human skull, and it's got ghosty energy on it, and you're not you don't see ghosty energy interacting with the depleted auras.
Okay.
Are you just doing this in the lobby area? Because
Well, no,
the
I was
theaters...
thinking more on the stage where
Okay.
where these guys were on stage and then they got off stage and they collapsed. So
Okay.
I'm thinking something might be up on the stage too.
Excellent. So you start in the theater, and I'll just say you get the same or you start in the box office or the lobby area, and then you go through, and someone mentions just make sure to texting is fine, just make sure to silence your cell phone in the theater.
Of course.
And they're like, yeah, whatever. Because everyone texts, it's fine.
Hi there, I'm Eddie, your shipboard computer. I'd be pleased to punch from any program you care to run through me.
So...
Shh, quiet, Siri.
So you discover the scene aspect first. It's... Okay, so there's... The theater is about half full. There are some people sitting together and kind of chatting quietly at what's going on stage, and there's an improv group, on stage. And do you kind of take a while to sit down and kind of scan while watching the comedy, or like are you just standing in the side? There are places just sort of stand on the side, like they're basically the bathroom is in the theater room, so the line to the bathroom is in the theater.
Okay.
It's an improv theater.
I think I'll stand. It'll give me a better scope of everything without looking like I'm filming the show from the seated position.
Okay, so there's also, you see there are people in the theater, again with varying stages of scene aspect, marathon level exhaustion. And watching, and so you're considered, the stage, and you see a troupe of people doing improv comedy, and they seem to be generating some kind of mystical energy. At the same time, something you can actually see, like, your cell phone becomes a viewer screen.
Mm-hmm.
Something is then pulling that energy out of them through the kind of chest area, front and back, depending on how they're facing, and they are definitely all going towards a central location off stage that you can't see from this angle.
And would it be backstage?
This would be backstage.
Okay. Is there a way to get backstage without going up on the stage?
Maybe. This is one of those cheap improv theaters. There is a door that might go... You're pretty sure that door isn't a bathroom. You think that might be a door that you could get on stage, but there's also someone standing in front of it. So, and it looks like they're standing there to make sure people don't go through thinking it's the bathroom. That said, you also you've discovered scene aspects. Improvisation is magic. And as you're kind of scanning, the stage, something, not even on the scanner, but just your own senses and experience, sense a ghosty thing happening in the audience, and you turn your camera around, and there is this big grizzled old guy with like a big bushy beard and glasses and kind of grizzled and hunched over fat old guy, just kind of watching the show and smoking a ghosty cigarette, floating about 10 feet above the audience, and just like sitting cross-legged, just sort of watching the show.
Well, he seems to be causing no harm, so I'll leave him be as for now.
That's not our problem today. We don't
Exactly.
There's a lot going on in this theater, I tell you.
Yes, I believe I shall wait for Ratchet to come back, or I'm sorry, Jeffrey Coombs to come back.
Mr. Coombs.
And then I will inform him of what I have found, and we shall discuss what to do from there.
Yeah, people are kind of wandering in and out. The improv is actually kind of fun. This is a weird group. Like, if you check the schedule, and check the website, it looks like this is an old improv group where the players didn't like break up like angrily, but like people moved. Like, it sounds like half the group stayed in New York City and half of it moved to LA, and this is like a reunion show for 20 minutes on the stage. And you definitely get a sense that some of them are more depleted already than others.
And
And
it's
you're not-
only taking from people that are on stage, right?
Right. Only
Okay.
it only is actively but it's pretty easy to see that the siphoning off is connected to the chewed up auras.
Okay.
There's also a lot more going on with mystical energy signatures in this space than you were exactly expecting for what might have been a gas leak. Or
Okay.
day drinking.
Yeah.
There is also day drinking.
Not surprising.
And yeah. So actually, when you've trained, you train your thing on the ghost actually looks over at you and glowers. Roll, give me a clever social engineering. Oh, it's just D4 for you. Let's see if you pick up on social cues.
Probably not. Fortunately, clever is a D10, so. Oh, Lord. So that's a 10 on the D10 and a 3 on the D4. So
that's
nice.
So he kind of like glowers at you. He doesn't flip you off, but you get a sense of the same kind of energy. And he just sort of like the little ghost thing in Animal Crossing sort of flips up and poofs away. And the distinct impression you get isn't that he's afraid, but like, fucking tourist. And he just leaves.
Well, he isn't exactly wrong.
I mean, you're not from New York. You don't do improv. Like, you know, yeah, you are. Guilty.
The Ratchet does make it back eventually.
Guilty.
Whether or not it's with the guys he left with, you know, once he's dosed them, he's gonna just fucking leave them.
Yeah, a couple of them came back. A couple of them did go to get a burrito. Because improv boys do not have a sense of self-preservation or self-care. For reasons that you might discover, there's a lot going on here because it's an improv theater.
I have one job, and it's not to take care of their dumbasses, but I'll do it if I have to. Yeah.
So Hair Doctor, it's easy enough to just walk back and forth through it's like a curtain door, so it's silent as you walk through it, but it does okay to hold the sound out. And people are doing their best not to be too loud in the lobby.
Okay.
They're being more loud out on the street in front of the building. So yeah.
Okay.
My glower power. Arcane the Sage, you have no idea.
Phantom of the Improv Theater.
I've thrown so many pieces out. I can't wait till you start putting them together.
They also wondered if it's the exit stage left.
I don't know what that reference is.
It's referencing
the
door.
Frankenfurter already showed up.
The door with the
You
guard
missed
in
him.
front of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Frankenfurter tried to plaster themselves all over the Hair Doctor, and the Doctor's having none of it.
Meanwhile, on the stage, while you were watching and doing your widdlywig, you did see an improv person who both had excellent energy, completely stuck to the game of the scenes they were in, and knew exactly when to end the scene, which is what pirate robot ninja means. Noobs.
Okay.
Or at least, well, Hair Doctor might not have picked up on it, but yes, there was a ninja pirate cyborg on stage. Because you can be all three. And if you don't know what any of this means, do not fucking lecture me on yes and.
I know big O notation, so, you know, there's trade-offs here.
Anywho, so yeah, you reconvene back in the lobby. Hair Doctor and Mr. Coombs. And yeah, people are still hanging out. That Carl guy.
These days are damn ungrateful.
The improvers, do you expect them to have graciousness?
I expect them to have some basic damn manners. Really? Oh, it shouldn't be.
A few women talking quietly with each other kind of snicker at that. And they're like, sorry, we're not laughing at you. Let's just say the Me Too movement could have done to get here 10 years ago or 10 years earlier.
Yeah, well.
Improv boys kind of suck and not in the fun way.
Yeah.
And they, go back to talking. And people are pretty friendly. They are eyeing both of you as you are not from around here. And you do not seem to be improv people. And what you're both getting is, I would just say scene aspect is improv is for improvisers. There isn't really an audience here. All of the people who are here to watch the improv also do improv. It's given you a real cult vibe, and you're not sure how you feel about it. Well, it's giving off a cult vibe. Make of that what your character will.
So we have a cult, we has ghosts, we has energy being sucked. I think we have something supernatural here.
Really? What was your first clue?
The ghost that poofed away in the audience. Oh,
yeah,
yes.
That would be a pretty decent clue. However, I'm thinking that maybe Mr. Box Office might know something.
Well, I relay everything that I found about the stage when I did my scans.
To Ratchet, I assume, not the box office.
Yes, to Ratchet.
By the way, did you know you have ghosts in your theater?
And you said there was necromantic energy coming from the skull sitting on the shelf behind the guy?
Ghosty energy, yes.
Ghost energy. All right. I'm gonna go over and is Carl busy?
Not really. A few it seems like people are coming in and out a little bit to get tickets, but he's covering tickets, and it's a marathon, and a lot of people started early, so not a ton of people coming in for tickets right now.
Right.
He's mostly just like kind of checking his lists and checking out which tickets haven't been called and stuff like that. But he's not super busy. He's like, "Oh, hi, what's up?"
Carl, was it?
Yeah. I'm the lobby manager.
You know anything about that skull behind you?
Specifically, no. That thing was here when I got here. I don't know whose it really was, where it came from. Seems kind of cultural appropriation on the extreme, but a skull in any improv theater is automatically the skull of Del Close.
I'll take your word for it, but you notice anything odd about the stage? This one specifically.
Well, I haven't really been in there yet today. I'm the lobby manager, so I don't usually have to go in there unless there's somebody freaks out and gets violent, which isn't that often when it's just improv people. And he reaches behind and he pulls out a very sturdy looking wooden baseball bat, but I've got this. Puts it back down. So yeah, I'm technically security, but you don't need a ton of that here. At least not.
You notice anything weird going on backstage before the thing started, or do you go backstage?
Well, I haven't really been backstage, but I mean, it's just we've got another stage manager back there. Is one of our teachers is who's back there, and he kind of looks at his version of the Chester's back there. So that's one of our improv teachers is sort of stage managing. So is anything weird happening on stage?
I don't know. You might notice or you might not, but can I see that skull over there?
I mean, it's basically an arm's reach, but no one's touching it either because they know it's real or they think it's just a stupid prop. And he's like, it's right there. Like, go for it.
I'm not gonna touch it, but I am gonna reach across. So like he's in front of me and the skull's over here or whatever. It's an arm's reach, but I'm gonna reach across myself so that he can't quite see what I'm doing with my other hand, and I am going to do some off the cuff magic to try and either vibe the skull or see if there's a spirit attached, try and communicate with a spirit attached to it, because I can tell it's, radiating that ghosty presence, and so can Hair Doctor at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to do it cleverly.
Sure.
Mystic Arts. Cool. Some of those clever Mystic Arts. So that's a 10.
Wait, there's an NPC limit on the uh-oh.
That's what I'm looking. I'm looking going,
Yeah.
are you sure?
Huh. Sorry. What was the roll? Just
Yeah, no, it seems to work okay. I think it's just a max on you for some reason. I don't know, man.
Naughty Fadier bought too many NPCs. Sorry, bruh. We appreciate your patronage.
There might be a limit per person. I don't know.
Maybe. I'll check on that after stream. Sorry, bro.
Yeah. I rolled a 10.
Okay. So tell me again what you're trying to analyze. So you're basically mystically analyzing.
So basically, I've palmed the crystal in my other hand over here, reaching across myself to pick up the skull. What I'm trying to do is either vibe who it is, because it's got a ghost energy attachment, who the ghost belongs to, or communicate with the ghost, or force them to communicate with me.
Okay. So there's this thing that happens in Catholicism where 18 different churches will have the skull of St. Patrick.
Right.
But mystically, it is the skull of St. Patrick. That's what's happening. Whoever was actually the owner of this skull isn't the presence that's vibing with it now. However, when trying to communicate it, all you get is a growly kind of gargle, like, "Oh, fuck you, tourist," and nothing.
So
that's a grumpiness that rivals on your own. However you choose to feel about that. And by the way, what did the dude say whose skull this was? He said it was the skull of Del Close. What is the name of the marathon event?
Del Close Marathon?
Del Close Marathon.
This means nothing to a computer science engineer. I'm sorry.
Okay, did you notice that there's a QR code on the pamphlet that leads to a website with all this information on it?
Right, yes, but that was the doctor has the pamphlet and the doctor has the science.
You both have one. You both got one.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. Ratchet may or may not have a cell phone though, so.
He has one, but it's a flip phone. The kind that you have to type, press 3 times to get a B to C.
So, what do you do next?
I can scan the QR code and see what's on the website.
Yep, bleep. And it's like,
it seems that. So the other question is does the guy notice what I'm doing, Mr. Carter? Carl. Sorry.
Goodness. Let me look at your sheet. Let's roll Carl. Carl, where's your sheet? I know I made one. There we go.
Carl, that kills people.
Carl, that kills people.
I don't know that reference either.
Llamas and hats, I believe.
Yep.
Which is a rather eccentric cartoon.
Ratchet, while you were doing this, Carl definitely does notice. And just doesn't, he just sort of like, but doesn't comment. Because, you're working.
Right. So,
he also does not seem particularly threatened by it.
No.
He's just sort of, oh, you're one of those.
I'm just,
You're just a random sorcerer.
Yeah, but, so I pick up the skull. The skull said, "Fuck you, tourist," and I put the skull back down, apparently. So.
It's like,
well, that was helpful.
That sounds like the ghost that flipped me off in the theater.
Oh, you saw him?
Oh, yes. You know about him?
I mean, I don't know for sure, but like, me and other people, especially the guys on the tech box, we've seen stuff, and I mean, every theater's haunted, but I mean, from what I know of Del Close, if he wasn't haunting every improv theater in the country for the lulz, I'd be very surprised. And I mean, it's the Del Close Marathon, so.
Well, in that case, you got something weird going on backstage that's eating the spiritual energy of your performers. Not sure what's going on, but we'll try and close it down.
I mean,
It is literally chewing on them.
huh.
The ones who are really chewed up are the ones I took down to the coffee shop. They should be a little better now, but you know.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed some people have been kind of getting tired more around here, like, for a while. And I tried to bring in some, like, witchy friend, but they just, like, you know, met the wrong improv douchebag and were like, nah, they're on their own. And I'm like, come on. But I know some
Nope,
about
this is our
stuff,
job,
but...
so we'll take care of it.
Oh, okay. I mean, are you sure it's not Del Close who's doing it? Because that was kind of his bag when he was alive.
What, eating improv troops alive?
Well, no, like, occult stuff.
Oh.
Well, that would be the perfect cover for whoever's doing it.
I mean, I know a thing I could do. We could ask him, or try to.
He wouldn't talk to me. Apparently that's his skull.
Well, do you do improv?
I improvise when I have to, but most of the time
but
it's
like actual improv art form comedy.
improv comedy, no.
He's kind of an asshole. He is kind of like, that's just who he is.
I would be inclined to agree with that.
He was kind of the Aleister Crowley of improv. And, you know, first rule of Phlegmia is we don't talk about Aleister Crowley. Like, you know, it's... Anyway, I mean, we could just ask him.
Yeah, if you can, I've got a channel set up for him here to the skull. If you can talk to him, you should be able to just, talk to him. I hand him the skull.
He kind of gingerly takes it because it is a human skull and he doesn't know who it actually belongs to, and he's like, oh, okay. Let's go talk in the office.
Probably good.
And he calls over one of the bar people to watch the box office, and they kind of look quizzically and are like, shrug, okay. And our break timer just went off, so it is time for our 10-minute break, in which I will go over some... Oh, there are more custom NPC drops and some other stuff. So yes, chatlings, thanks for hanging out with us thus far. We will take a 10-minute break, and then magic shenanigans, maybe. With an ancient spirit of the power of improv. Research for this game was very fun. Alright, so we'll see you in 10. Bye! And audio. Hello, chat! We are back! And I'm starting to think Twitch has changed some channel points rules without telling us. So I apologize for that nonsense, and Twitch, why can't you be more like your brother YouTube? Words I never thought I would say.
Oh, it is. Because I can tell,
yeah.
because every time my face turns purple, it's because it's running an ad in the middle of our stream.
Yeah. Well, there's that, but at least with YouTube, at least half the ads you can click to opt out after 5 seconds.
Yep.
Twitch, be more like your brother. How did you manage to make ads worse than YouTube? How? Why?
It wasn't a very high bar either.
Yeah. And because, like, the audio quality of most streams, video game or tabletop, are much lower, an ad comes on and your eardrums bleed. And it's just like, why? Anyway, back to the fantasy world I've created to be torturous in other ways. So, y'all just had an interesting conversation with a slightly magical lobby manager. Meanwhile, Herr Doctor, were you going to look at the website?
Yes, I was.
Since the name Del Close keeps coming up.
Yes, I am most curious about this Del Close.
Yes, So the front page is like, Del Close Marathon, and here are links to the theaters, and here's another copy of the schedule, and there are hot links everywhere, so you can look at the names of performers and performing teams, and there's a list of the people doing like stage managing and as well links to the theaters themselves. And then there's, a picture of Del Close, which is kind of older and black and white, so he's younger, but definitely a resemblance to the ghost you saw.
Huh. That appears to be the man I saw.
And then there's, learn more about Del Close. Click here.
I click there.
So, I lifted this from an article that was very, very interesting, or very well written. So, Bill Murray once called Del Close the most famous man in comedy that nobody has ever heard of. Although he remains largely unknown to mainstream audiences, Close is widely considered, also wildly, to be one of the most influential figures in the history of American comedy. During his 40-year career, he was present in the early periods of both the Second City and the Committee, where he single-handedly transformed improvisation into a valid art form. He discovered and nurtured generations of comedians like John Belushi, Chris Farley, Amy Poehler, Martin Short, Harold Ramis, John Candy, Mike Myers, and countless others. While his experimental nature led him down a path of substance abuse which shortened his life and career, he was never short of ideas or challenges on how to further his own craft and that of improv itself. So the word experimentation sticks out to you because you're here, Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Great Justice Games, nobody who doesn't do comedy training or improv training has ever heard of Del Close, but he basically has trained every comedian from the 70s through the 90s that you like.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
I'm saying that I think countless others are saying that they've heard of countless others.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Countless Others, yeah.
Mr. Countless Others, yes.
Yep.
Everywhere. But yeah.
Relation to Mr. Coombs.
I don't know that he trained. Well, Jeffrey Combs isn't really a comedian. I don't know, maybe. A lot of actors do a bit of improv because it's helpful. But yeah, so there's that info. There's a picture of a younger version of the ghost you just saw. There's links to stuff about the theaters that are participating, the performers, and also the general like stage managers and people like that who are working on stuff.
Well, Car, may I call you Car?
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, Car, I noticed this looks like the ghost I saw. And I show him the picture on the website.
Yeah, there's as he's walking you into the office, which is just a very boring office for pictures of comedy troupes and things on the walls, but pretty stripped down. People don't spend a lot of
beige filing cabinets.
Yeah, it's the cheap stuff, but like they have a theater to run. The fun stuff happens outside the office.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, like he was like, I wasn't kidding when he was the Aleister Crowley of improv, on top of the guy who trained all other comedians for the next generations after him. He studied Aleister Crowley and probably idolized him, which not really a point in his favor, but there you go. And he did a lot of actual like mystical experiments using improv. Some of which got him in trouble when he had a student who was a whiny Christian fundy or something like that, when they're like, he was actually having us summon demons on stage. And the more you hear about this, the more you think, he's not really famous, but could this be in the Brotherhood database? Which you have access to because you have a phone safer.
I was just going to ask that. Okay. While he's getting set up to contact Mr. Close, I'll try and access the database and see what we got.
Yeah.
I mean, the spell's already set up for Mr. Close. It's just he's got to attach to it.
Yep.
Well, like Carl clears off the desk and gingerly puts the skull down, and then goes to this side cabinet, which is apparently a bar full of better alcohol, and starts mixing something drinky. drink like, or an actual drink. Yeah, Del Close is in the Brotherhood database, but it's like, you know how some bits on Wikipedia are like flagged,
Unconfirmed or whatever.
yeah, flagged for like
Needs sources.
needs verification.
Uh-huh.
Del Close's entire page is flagged like that because he has so many strange stories told different ways by different people, including himself, and it's like he definitely did his own mystic shit, but it's like, what did he actually do? And it's the Brotherhood strongly suspects he was an actual sorcerer, but trying to figure out what's real and what's not real is like, what? How? What? Like, there's also a note that people keep trying to make biopics of this guy, and they can't, because they can't separate what's real and what's true and what's made up. But if it's made up, does that mean it's not true? And it's the whole, like, dude was a real life puka.
The subjective nature of reality.
Yes, that comes up a few times. So it says, like, one aspect is he created a warm-up exercise and/or stage game by which the group creates an original deity and then worships it. Many complaints from Fundy church students may have actually created new deities, evidence unclear. Was often called a Wiccan warlock by mundane media sources, which isn't an actual thing, so who knows what that means. Like, Wiccans are not warlocks. But also, you know, American media knows nothing about occult mysticism by its nature. You know, lots of acid trips, drug experimentation, mysticism, and occultism. Claims a coven of witches cured him of his heroin addiction. He had a Wiccan priest and priestess at his wake/final birthday party. And then there's a link to a YouTube video of it, where he basically had his own wake double as his last birthday party, and then he passed away soon after when he was in the hospital. Like, weird dude. And chat, this is a real life person who actually existed and was an urban fantasy character in real life. And from what I know of Del Close, that was probably by design.
Sounds about right from what little I've read.
It's, yeah, like, so Brotherhood had strong indications that he was a sorcerer, but he wasn't really stable enough to, like, work with. And also was just kind of cantankerous and hard to work with anyway. So yeah, and as you're kind of reading through this, Carl, based on the smell, it smells like he made a chocolate martini. It's not in a martini glass because he didn't have one, but it's, you know, in a little tumbler. And he stirred it because they don't have a shaker back here and they don't have ice. And he takes out kind of a pretty decent cigar. You did notice there was a cigar shop on the way here. Like a proper, you know, fully stocked, state-of-the-art cigar shop because it's Chelsea and people are rich snoobs here.
Tobacconary, yeah.
A tobacconary, yeah.
You don't know what
a fancy one with big, soft, comfy chairs in the storefront surrounded by not humidifiers.
Humidors?
Humidors. There we go. So,
Oh, it looks like you have another demon dice, too.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, look this guy up, chat. He was the true king of the weirdos, and it was awesome. Okay. I could add the god of beatniks. You know, he might have been that or created one. Jury's out.
We're already there.
Already there. Definitely a big beatnik vibe. Just from the photos alone, this dude could have been considered a beatnik. Okay. So, Carl kind of sets up all the stuff, and he's like, so I know a little bit about how to do this, but I haven't done it before.
I'll do it.
So, oh, thanks, because I'm not. Like, I'd like to study that, but it's like, trying to find someone in New York who will teach for free or cheap is kind of hard. And
You just haven't asked the right places, but you might not be able to stay in New York, so it's up to you. I am going to roll some clever mystic arts.
Awesome.
For 12.
Okay. Yeah, that, let's see. What? Where did I go wrong with today's notes? For fuck's sake.
I can promise you, as a DM, we all have days like that.
Yeah, no
but
kidding.
It's not even that I can't read my own handwriting. I typed it and printed it out, and I can't read it. And it's like, ADHD brain, what the fuck? So Ratchet, well, what elements do you add, or do you just, what elements do you add to this?
I'll add the crystal that I used to vibe him earlier, and another candle. It's definitely beeswax. And it does have flower petals in it.
For summoning the real demons, because if it's not beeswax, won't work. Another Zoe reference.
Yeah, but the beeswax appears to have flower petals in it, like in the wax. So it's not pure beeswax, but it's got inclusions. So yeah, I'll set the crystal down basically in front of the skull so that the light reflects between the skull's eyes. Light the candle and say a couple of words to pick the spell up that I'd done earlier to vibe him out, basically.
Okay.
Then I look at Carl and said, you don't learn my kind of magic here, but if you're interested in learning more about magic, you might consider looking up the Brotherhood of the Celestial Torch. Magic lessons aren't free, but you'll get paid while you do them.
Okay, but are they like Freemasons?
I'll.
Yeah, Ratchet. No one really looks up the Brotherhood.
Yeah,
the Brotherhood
no,
times you.
I'm trying to remember. I'm gonna pull out my wallet.
I've got a sign up form here. It absolves.
No. It's. I've got a one of the old identity cards, basically, like.
Well, no, that's a tattoo.
Yeah, but I'm not showing him that arm.
Oh, true.
So
Herr Doctor, you have a tattoo on the back of your bald head of this symbol.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And that's how they mark you as Brotherhood.
Gotcha. So I'll pull out one of my old ID cards of me looking remarkably similar to what I do now, even though it's dated 1947. And I'll put my finger over the date and show him the symbol of it. It's an organization devoted to fighting things that, basically bullshit like this. Like I said, it's not free. Magic lessons aren't free, but you would get them and you'd be paid while you're doing them. But you'd also have to try and, sort shit like this out.
Okay. Interesting.
It's a job. Pretty decent retirement benefits if you happen to live that long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that kind of job. But, it's health benefits while you're working in it. It's retirement benefits when you're done. And it's magic lessons that you get paid for.
Cool. Okay.
The only risk is death, and that's not really all that big a deal, clearly.
I'll take your word
Says
for
the
it.
necromancer.
Shh. Scientist! So yeah, as you're talking and the smell of water fills the room, but it's not... Usually it's like a fresh water. Now it's more of kind of a dank, moldy water, which it just smells like darker, like... Yeah, like, necromancy isn't exactly grandma's thing, or great auntie's thing, but, like, in a pinch.
I mean, it's not necromancy, I'm not compelling the dead or anything. I'm using something that's already here to basically go,
And yeah, so Ratchet is in the middle of their pitch of joining the Brotherhood to the lobby manager, and suddenly you sense movement behind you or to the side of you, and you see that there's this fat old guy with a big bushy beard and dark thick rimmed glasses and kind of scrunchy hair, and he's just drinking the martini and smoking, and has already picked up and has lit the cigar from the candle and is just smoking and drinking. And the it's not going right through him, it's definitely going into him, which is unusual for a ghost, because usually the spirits do consume material components, but not by, like, visibly drinking and smoking them. So you're like, okay, this is different.
That's a new one on me.
But not entirely unexpected. And he just kind of turns around and is like, so what do you assholes want?
We want this damn theater to stop eating people.
Oh yeah, well it's not the theater, it's the Mara.
I'm sorry, say it again.
It's not the theater, it's the Mara that's inside the theater. Backstage. Technically, it's inside Chester. And at this point, you notice Carl has become very quiet because Del Close is standing right in front of him, and it's just like...
Do I know what Amara is?
Roll me a clever mystic arts.
All right, I can do that.
And in fact, I'm going to check on that too.
You know what it is, but...
No, I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I don't either.
Let's roll it.
14.
Okay. Herr Doctor?
Well, on the Mystic Arts, I got a 1. And on the Clever, I got a 3. So that's a total 4.
Herr Doctor, you have no idea unless you want to spend Demandus?
No, this is okay. I know nothing.
This is not my wheelhouse.
I know nothing.
Nothing?
Ratchet, you've definitely heard of this, but so Maras are... There's a lot of entomological fighting about the term and why it's like this, and Dracus, if they were here with us tonight, would probably tell us what it was, but I just skimmed it because it was a lot. One of the theories, which everyone fights about, is that Mara is where the term nightmare comes from, because it is a kind of spirit or demon that sits on your chest while you're asleep and eats your nightmares, or drains your life force while you're sleeping. It's just
so the Celtic answer to a
like
what are the little tapirs that eat dreams? Baku.
Oh, the Baku. More like I believe it's more Germanic, but yeah, it's sort of like a Baku. Only those specific are a specific thing which you have encountered before in Bellevue Hospital that actually eats your dreams. And sometimes Baku are nice. Depends on who's writing about them. Just like, once in a while, a Rakshasa can be nice, but still a dick because they're a cat.
Rakshasa.
They're a Rakshasa.
Lawful good is not lawful nice.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That exactly. That's the whole Brotherhood subtitle, aside from Comedy of Terrors. Or is it got? Yeah, so Mara are most definitely always bad, but, like, all these people are awake. And it literally, like, it's one MO is it sits on your chest and eats your brain, or eats your soul, or your dreams. It's also, among the Brotherhood, it's possible that Mara is more of, like, a category. And, like, so our succubi Mara's also, like, it's a category.
Aren't the people on stage basically daydreaming?
Well, it could be, or perhaps instead of dreams, it eats bad comedy.
Oh, no, well... And he's still just drinking his chocolate bar. No, what they're doing is good comedy. Otherwise, it wouldn't work.
I would say that's subjective at best.
Look, Kraut, I don't come to your country and tell you you're not funny, even though you're not. So deal with it.
German people are never funny. We have no sense of humor.
Well, at least you'll admit it, and that's big of you.
What's that word you're so fond of? Schadenfreude?
Oh yeah, that's like a common word now. That's cool. So yeah, like improv at its best. You know, improv is entertaining for randomized and for a lot of reasons, but like while you're on stage free associating, you are actively tapping into your unconscious and that of the other people on stage with you. And while you're awake. And that's, well, in one case, that's one way that when it's the best. Like, there's other ways to do it, but it's when you're in it, it's a really transcendental, uh, potentially mystical experience if you're doing it right. I mean, it can still be pretty fucking funny if you're doing it wrong, but you know. But that seems to be what she's feeding off of. I've never heard of Amara feeding on people while they're awake, but I mean, that's the connection. I experimented with that a lot. So, actually, it's a cigar, so it's like, so, yeah. So it looks like Chester sold his soul, but to Amara instead of a standard demon. So, you know.
Well,
I mean, yeah, like, comedians do that so much, it's not even funny anymore.
what's the comedy rule?
Oh.
It's only funny if you do it 3 times.
Well, no, that's the law of threes in comedy. But yeah, it's gone way past 3, and, you know, just because you've bought success doesn't actually mean you've bought talent.
Fair enough. So, well,
I mean, what's sad is that he's not a bad comedian. And like, you know, I can't even hold it against him for making that kind of deal. I mean, what is it the fuck I used to say? You gotta take that light inside you and burn it out, like, you know.
that sounds remarkably disingenuous. Well, I'm gonna go see what I can do about the demon.
Disingenuous, but it works. Yeah, you better go do it.
Yeah, sure, bud. You enjoy that drink.
Well, everyone in this theater knows my name.
But do they know it outside the theater?
No, but I don't really care about those people.
Nobody knows my name, and it's the way I fucking like it. Because if they know my name, they can call me up and ask me to do shit for them.
But you're Jeffrey Combs.
Come on, doctor.
Yeah.
That is hair, doctor. Thank you.
Doctor, hair, doctor.
Yeah, so that's all I got. Because, you know, Ghost. They can't keep me out of backstage.
Yeah, well.
Especially when they've invoked me with naming the whole event after me.
Yeah, well, I'll release you from this binding, but you can keep the cigar and keep drinking if you like. I should hang around.
As you start saying that, he puts down the empty drink and just, yeah, I'm off to the CDC, Pat, and you don't get to, sorry. You don't get to dismiss him, he dismisses himself, and that is also a bit
I'm not,
weird.
I wasn't dismissing him, I was breaking the breaking the spell, basically, that was basically keeping his attention here. So, like, it's not a dismissal, he could have stayed or he could have left at any point he wanted. I was just going, well, we're done, so anything you want to do after this is your own problem.
Yeah, he's like, good luck, Brotherhood dudes. Or good luck, Brotherhood scrubs, and flips off. Poof. And Carl's just sitting there like, that just actually happened. Okay.
Yeah, the shine comes off about the 5th time, but I'll put the half-burned candle back in my satchel. So, if you can get us backstage, that'd be good, but you don't have to particularly, help with this, because it's not, you don't have the training for it, honestly.
No, I mean, I am technically theater security, but I don't know really anything about demon possessions.
Quite sure this is above your pay grade.
Yeah. Currently.
Yeah, they don't pay me a lot.
Like I said, just remember what I said about the Brotherhood. You can find them in Rego Park.
What? Where's Rego Park?
Fuck if I know.
Talk about, yeah. Most people don't know where it
bet
is.
he gives him the directions to the office with a notation to knock and don't enter until Fran lets him in.
Oh, it's
If you
near
want to hear
Forest
more.
Hills. Oh, okay.
Sure.
Like, where's this thing in city I've never been in? And I'm like, fuck if I know.
This is Chris's game. I don't know where anything is.
Yeah, no. You can drive over a bridge on your way to LaGuardia, apparently.
Oh my god. It's really difficult being a real New Yorker in a world of media that thinks it knows what New York is shaped like.
Get rope.
Then again, it makes it very easy to write Demon Hunters modules because no one knows the deep lore. No one knows the basics, let alone the deep lore like I do. Although technically Del Close would be Chicago deep lore, but you know, the improv scene is everywhere.
I mean, they did say it's nationwide with him, so.
Yeah. And I'm not on the Chicago improv scene. I'm barely in Chicago. I'm lucky I'm in Chicago geographically.
I mean,
however, I have learned some really cool things that I put into a Demon Hunters module for the Element 11 chapter, so.
Yay! Sentient cars! Alright, so you talked to the ghost of Del Close, who saw something fucking around with the theater and didn't seem to really care, but he likes hearing himself talk, so he told you all about it.
Fair.
Works for me.
Now what do you do?
Now we get Carl to escort us backstage, essentially.
Yes, Carson, could you take us backstage, please?
Okay. He stops for a moment back at his post and just quietly takes the baseball bat. And the girl watching the ticket booth is kind of like, huh, like looks in concern, and he's just like, and she's like, okay, and goes with you towards the backstage door. And there is another improv team, definitely locals, because they seem to be phoning it in. Whether it's because they're locals or because they're having their souls drained from their body by a sleep demon, who knows? But yeah, he just, he motions to the guy standing in front of the door, and he's like, okay, and lets you two backstage.
Right.
All right.
And yeah, there is kind of sitting a bit far back from the stage with a soda is a dude who, Herr Doctor, from what you saw before, this could very well be the spot, because you're not looking at it right now, but where all those siphoning energies were going, probably be where this guy was sitting. And it looks like he's got a headset on and, you know, a clipboard. And there's another team of people who look like they're waiting to go on stage after this group. And he's kind of just paying attention to his job.
I put my hand on Carl before he can, call out to him or lead him further forward.
Oh, Carl didn't come in.
Oh, good.
He's like, no, you told me to stay back. I do. Carl is one of those rare improv people who does have a sense of self-preservation. And is not currently drinking him, despite being a white boy, is not currently drinking himself to death to try and make himself funnier. Which is an unfortunate thing that all the improv boys pick up, even when their teachers tell them not to.
Verbing nouns. Sounds fake, but okay.
An improv boy with a sense of self-preservation? Oh my god. No, it's actually a real big
See, that makes this game unbelievable now. Like the spirits, the ghosts, the demons, I can take that.
Del Close,
white boys that aren't drinking.
Yeah. Well, no, white improv boy comedians that aren't drinking.
There you go.
The skull, a skull in any improv theater is the skull of Del Close. No problem.
Yeah,
that's
fine.
normal by now.
So
you're an improv performer too. Me too. Verbing nouns.
Nice.
So I'm going to grab Herr Doctor by the elbow, basically, and just kind of sidle him around so we're behind everybody at the back of the theater, essentially. And I'm gonna pull out some candles and chalk, and first I'm actually gonna just write on the wall, essentially, just a little bit, kind of small to the Doctor. Ritual exorcism. Underline it.
Is there space between you and where Chester is sitting?
Yeah, there would be. Not much, but
Okay. I'm going to lean up against the wall between what you're doing and where Chester is, pull out my phone, act like I'm just kind of looking at it and looking information up. But instead, I'm going to have the scanner up and just kind of keep an eye on Chester.
Okay, roll to scan.
Okay. We're going to do this careful.
welcome to the house of vibe. Welcome to your vibe check.
Actually, no, this is going to be a clever roll. And would that be R&D again?
Yeah.
Okay. And Jesus Christ, I need new dice.
Yeah,
I swear to God, this is Will Wheaton. I swear to God. That
you met Will Wheaton and he touched your dice. I'm sorry.
I didn't, but I have that curse all the same. No, so that's a 1 for the clever, and that's a 6 for the research and development. So that's a 7.
What did you roll? A 7 altogether?
Yes, altogether.
And neither of them was a 1.
No, the clever was a 1.
Oh, okay, well, do you want to take a faith dice, spend it, and re-roll it?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Oh,
take it, spend it, and re-roll it.
Doesn't matter.
Is it worse?
It's still a 1.
Oh goodness.
Jail for dice for 1,000 years.
Yes,
I know, right?
1,000 years.
And this is a set of dice I've never used before, never opened until tonight, but there it is.
So, okay, so, I mean...
You want to spend some demon dice?
Would you like to use some demandis?
I'm gonna have to. Let's try one demon die and see what we get with that. It would help if I actually got the table. That's a 3, so that takes us up to a 10.
There you go.
So, yeah, there is some kind of... This dude is possessed by a something. A 10 isn't really enough to distinguish what something, but it, you know...
Yeah.
Del Close himself just told you what it was.
Right.
So, that you can probably take that to the bank as long as it's a pretend improv bank in an improv scene.
Right. I have to be improving taking it to the bank.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, I'm going for a full-scale ritual.
Like I said, with my scanner, I'm keeping an eye to make sure they don't notice. And kind of just being ready to block in case it decides to try and stop Ratchet from doing the ritual.
Okay.
So I'm going to do Clever Mystic Arts, use a charge from the satchel I set up, tap my aspect of Disciple of Mariaman. Going to use a faith die from the pool, which there are 2 at least. Hang on a sec.
Oh, there is a thing.
I'm getting
but yes,
one of my new sets of D6s.
Ooh.
In their fancy dice box. Looks like Kindle. So.
Which is fairly appropriate.
Yep. So I'm going to tap a D6 from the pool to tap Seen Too Much. And I'm going to use the other D6 from the pool to tap Scene Aspect Demon in a Guy.
That is not a scene aspect.
Okay. In that case,
I mean, there is a scene aspect.
There are 2 scene aspects at least.
Well, there are a few.
There's Marathon. There's
Where did all my notes go? They're right here and I can't see them. So,
there's Marathon Exhaustion. There's the Friendliest Pyramid Scheme you'll ever entertain in.
Well, this is in the theater. So you've got Haunted as Fuck, Marathon Level Exhaustion, and Improvisation is Magic.
Okay, I'll tap Improvisation is Magic.
How do you tap it? Because this will require roleplay.
All right.
How do you invoke the spirit of improv comedy to exorcise a demon out of an improv teacher? I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying you have to tell me how.
Okay, so Ratchet starts setting up his ritual. He's using the chalk to draw the diagrams. and he's lighting some more beeswax candles, which don't smell very much, thank goodness, and don't have very much, burning. Anyway, very much smoke when they burn. Not quite smokeless, but pretty close. Nothing to set off anybody's, oh, is something burning? No. While he does this, you don't improvise. So unless you're stupid, you don't improvise during a ritual, especially not one that you learned at the not the knees, but at the behest of people who've been doing it a very specific way for a very specific reason for several thousand years. So, but sometimes when this isn't the environment that it was designed for. Like it's supposed to be done by 12 people. It's supposed to have incense and all this good stuff, and he's got 12 candles, some chalk, and whatever the hell he's got in his satchel.
Okay.
So he's having to.
Then we'll say that you have to do something to represent theatrically the other 12 people, or the other 11 people. So start your role play, and then you will roll. How do you improvise 11 other practitioners on in a magic haunted theater with improv people everywhere?
Well, there's an improv team standing by, isn't there? Ready to come on?
There is.
So I get their attention quietly,
They're like, oh, yeah.
You stand here. You stand here. And then I'm
We're
like,
from Vancouver. We're so excited to be in New York.
Yeah. No, yeah, this is
This is great.
just
Are you
warming
the
up,
coach?
warming up. Gotta
Yeah.
get nice and loose before you go on stage.
Yeah,
Get
what
ready
warm
for
up
it.
do we do? Yeah, we'd love to learn a New York warm up.
So we all stand in a circle, and we put hand on hand. Your hand's on my hand like this, and my hand is on the other person's hand like that.
Okay, and they all do it immediately. They are surprisingly good at following instructions.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna say a word, and we're gonna pass it around the circle. So I'm gonna say the word. I'm gonna pass it to you, and you're gonna say a word that comes to mind when you hear what I tell you. All right.
Okay.
All right. Whatever comes to your mind, and then you pass it on to the next person. That person says whatever they come to mind. Just has to keep it up real rhythmically. You have as long as it takes between one hand going like this. So, and this, make sure you get those nice, connections working, all the good, all the working stuff to do all the improv you need to do on stage. You ready for this?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right. Okay, so that's 5, 6, 4, 6, 4.
Okay, but what is the word that you give them to start them off? This is
Okay,
very
the word that I give them to start them off is cleanse.
Cleanse, because that is a very important part of improv. Is you have to start them off. So you get cleanse, gift. So you cleanse, gift, empire, wording, protection, repeat, and then they just keep going. And I brought up a random word generator.
Yep.
And they are very good at this because they're an away team and not a lazy local team. Ask me how I know this about the Del Close Marathon.
So 18,
not that I've been in a while. Maybe it's
26,
better now.
31. 40.
Okay.
A fuck ton of dice.
Nice.
As many dice as I could. If I have to roll some demon dice, I will.
Okay. Well, that's the thing is, just because someone acts like they're not paying attention to you doesn't necessarily
Because I'm attracted
mean...
away their improv team.
Yeah. So, let me roll. They get a defense. And I have some demon dice. So we will see. Let's see. Where... God damn it. Your sheet is right in front of me. Now I can't find my dice. Oh, thank you, ADHD brain. What a marvelous gift.
Oh, we've got some more faith dice coming in.
Oh, verbing out.
Yes.
Protect the improv theater. It's called The Draw. Guess what I
Good
based
God.
it on. Based on what shirt I'm wearing. Oh, but this is backwards anyway on the internet. Because I'm the one running the Zoom call. Okay, where the fuck
I can
am
feel the draw. I can feel it pulling me back. It's pulling me back.
Flashy. Where are my Oh, that's right. My D10s are separate because we're doing vampire now.
I can't use any more faith dice for being done. From this point, demon dice only for me. So I've got 3 more d6 I can add if I need to.
Which you could totally do.
Yeah.
Just saying. Okay, so...
Oh, and there come the demon dice.
Thank you!
No, okay. The demon dice you buy go immediately to the demon master. So you're sending them directly to Chris to use against the theater.
Thank you. Oh. Okay. So, all this time, Chester has not really been paying any attention to you. You now get the distinct impression that doesn't mean he didn't see you. Because what he does is he gets up out of his chair and goes over to the improv group and inserts himself into their circle, and they let him in, and he turns the flow of words in the opposite direction. And you sense an immediate backfire of energy, which he still has to roll for, but he can also use the magic of improv in addition to his own magic. So yeah, so let's see. Possessed improv teacher.
Is there a way I could try to interrupt or distract him?
Not at this point.
Okay.
Although, if this continues, we will, I guess, go into rounds, or just compete, or just keep rolling against each other until someone dies. So I am using a demon die for concept, possessed improv teacher. Discipline, treat your scene partner like a genius. Discipline, follow your fear. I need more demon dice. Discipline, I see a lot of life in you. His mystic arts is what did we use it? No, this is technically mystic arts. Is a 10. Oh no, he is using comedy, so discipline is an 8, not a 10. But he is being flashy, although in a stage whispery way, and Herr Doctor, it's really weird because they're being very active but also very quiet, and theater's surprisingly interesting. You've never really looked into it before. And he is also using another demon dice for improv as magic.
This is fascinating.
Because it is.
I may have to come to the theater more often.
I mean, this goes on for 48 hours. And, like, you're in town for a few days.
Yeah.
I'm bringing jazz hands!
Oh,
so,
cool.
Yes, so he gets into, and then sends it in the other direction, and seamlessly the Vancouver Improv Society starts following his lead. And... Oh, you rolled like shit. Well... 11, 13, 15... Only rolls an 18.
Wow, he really did bring jazz hands.
Oh my god.
Alright, so
Yeah, that's my brother.
18 against 40.
Yeah, 18 against 40. Yup. Well, you brought an actual ritual kit. He did his best.
Unfortunately for him, it's really fucking hard. So, if you've never played it, the game is basically concentration. You set up let's play concentration, no repeats or hesitations. It's really fucking hard to go the other way on concentration because your hand on this side is actually under someone else's hand.
Mm.
So trying to pass it back the other way is a lot more awkward than you're thinking.
No, I've done it. This is an actual improv warm-up.
Oh.
A lot of camp games are used as improv. That's how I learned Bunny Bunny.
Oh god, I remember Bunny Bunny.
Bunny Bunny is my favorite.
Did you ever play Red Rover?
Not for an improv warm-up, but someone
Yeah.
did create a version called Laser Bunnies, where it's pew 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 pew, and then the guys on either side would go poo 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 poo, and it's very fun. Bunny Bunny was my favorite.
Oh, Bunny Bunny is you have
Bunny,
three people.
bunny,
The person in the middle goes Bunny Bunny Bunny. The one on the right side goes Bunny Bunny Bunny, and the one on the left side goes Bunny Bunny Bunny. They point to somebody else that's not directly beside them, and that person, the people on the other side, have to correctly jump into the Bunny Bunny position, with the middle person being Bunny Bunny Bunny, left, right, Bunny Bunny Bunny. And the real kicker is you have to get your lefts and rights correct, because if you fuck up and you're on the right side, you do the left bunny, you're pointing in towards the middle bunny, and you fucked it up, and you're out.
So it is 9:46. So remember that Herr Doctor rolled on a demon dice a while ago?
Oh dear.
So
Oh, yes.
the good news is, you eject the Mara from the dude's body because he gets a little too wrapped up in the improv game and forgets what he was doing because he rolled, his comedy instead of his mystic arts. Although for some improv people, like per se Del Close, those are the same thing. But this is not Del Close. Del Close probably could have done it, but Del Close may or may not have let a demon possess him in the first place. Yeah, I was either too smart or too stupid to not read the whole contract first, lol. Oh, he was a character. So yes, so he kind of suddenly falls down in the middle of it because ejecting spirit possession is rather jarring to the human body, especially one that is very mundane to begin with. And you don't really get a good look at the spirit entity that comes out of it because Maras are rather nebulous.
Mm-hmm.
But it just sort of like growls at you and gets away. So I am using that demon dice one.
All right, I flip it off, but not where anybody else can see.
Yeah, and the Vancouver team, they're a little too into it because you did so well on your first roll that they don't actually notice the guy has collapsed and just sort of close up ranks again and keep going.
I mean, he dropped out because he fucked up, No repeats or hesitations.
No, they're still somehow going in the opposite direction, and it's like, they're very good at this. You're not sure what this is, but they're good at it.
All right. I say the closing word in Hindi when it comes to my turn to drop out, like I fucked up or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, no one really loses at improv game warm-ups, so it's actually like it's meant to build up energy, so you don't really get tagged out. It just passes it along. So if someone drops out, they just sand it and they go around you.
The version I learned in band, because there's lots of time waiting between performances. You're in the parking lot or whatever. Is when you fuck up, you're out. Like trying to play Ninja or Red Rover or Bunny Bunny or whatever. If you fuck up, you're out, and then the game closes in, and the last man standing wins, basically.
Mm-hmm. Well, improv very much wants to make sure everyone's energy is up, so you don't really want someone to get tagged out.
Fair.
So it's just like people fuck up, but also it's just a party game before the real game, which is
Fair.
Yeah.
I learned it competitively.
Yeah. In school, you play it competitively. As an improv warm-up, it is not usually competitive, except when your improv coach accuses you of making up the word chartreuse. Which happened to me once. And then my other...
The definition is cheating at Scrabble.
And then my other goth teammate backed me up. It's like, no, that's a real word. It's a color shade of green, and it's also a liquor. And then that improv coach went on to get an MFA, but doesn't know the word chartreuse. I'm not bitter. Ironically, I only quit the improv scene because I got chronically ill. Not because of the ridiculous. It's a very silly place.
Like Camelot.
Yeah.
A silly place.
Let's not go there. It's a very silly place. So yes. Well, it's not that we're actually finishing on time.
Oh.
So yeah, because this is supposed to run till 10, but we always run over because I start late. Oh, okay, so we are a bit early. But yeah,
Not too
epilogue.
many.
So people are still a little fucked up. But the four that you helped with coffee, whether or not they deserved help, definitely were on the mend. And you're pretty sure that, as you know, a human spiritual energy does eventually grow back on its own, as long as they, keep being alive. The way some of these people are day drinking, you're not completely sure they will still be alive in 48 hours, but...
Yeah.
Or
That's what...
44 hours.
Well, that will be their own fault then. I'm not going to worry about that one.
Yeah. And,
I will, take the unconscious Chester and Carl back to the office if I can get Carl to take us there and prep a carafe of coffee for people who've been negatively affected, starting with Chester, unfortunately.
Well, no one in New York City has cars. And Carl's like, we should call an ambulance. Like, unless there's a specific reason he shouldn't be alone because whoosh. Like,
can Chester afford an ambulance ride?
No one can, but we're theater people. We know how to. Eventually, you so can't pay that they have to waive it. It's complicated, but it can be done, and we know that kind of thing because we're all theater people, and there's no money in that.
Yeah, no,
okay.
I mean, he probably needs a hospital, but I was gonna get some coffee going for everybody else in the building who hopefully,
Well, we don't have a coffee maker or one of those big coffee pot things, but there is a Gristedes down the block, and you could probably get like one of those big boxes of coffee. Is what Carl is recommending. He's like,
yeah.
I could give you some of the petty cash if you wanna pick some up.
I am a doctor. I can look at Chester until the ambulance gets here.
Okay. Like, is he gonna be okay?
Do not vivisect in the office.
I'm not vivisecting, I promise.
Okay.
There's no vivisection.
So I'll go get the box of coffee.
Yep.
And doctor on my way back.
And what on the way back?
Doctorate for the.
Yep. And so Carl helps Herr Doctor get Chester into the office, finds a backup for Chester among the various people working at the theater, and then by the time Ratchet gets back with the coffee, he's already written up a sign, "Free coffee," and a whole bunch of people are taking it because they're day drinking, but it's also free.
Yeah, and it's also, they're exhausted, so it's like, oh, gotta stay awake. Coffee, stay awake.
Do I see any way I could improve Chester with cybernetics?
Oh, always.
Okay.
All humans will be cyborgs eventually, and it'll be awesome.
Then while we're waiting for the ambulance, I want to see if I can install something on him.
Oh, okay. So that is...
I'm not vivisecting him!
There.
You're making him better, faster, stronger.
He should be the $5,000
Vivisecting means
man.
he's dead.
Yes.
He's not dead yet.
He's not dead yet.
He's not dead.
No, if you're vivisecting them, they're still alive. That's what the viva part means.
Oh,
yes, but they die
Oh.
afterwards.
Yeah. Vivisecting means dissection that's still when they're still alive.
Yes, but then they die afterwards. I want him to
they do
continue
tend to
living.
perish after that.
I want him to continue living.
But you have a stunt that allows you to resurrect them anyway, so...
Yep, exactly. All right, so I think based on what he just went through, maybe he could take some like natural energy from the world around him, not from people, but just something to kind of help boost him a little bit if something like this happens again.
So basically, souping up his adrenal system.
Exactly.
Because that never fucks people up, I say from personal experience with a funky adrenal system. Okay! Roll it! What are you rolling?
Well, let's see. I'm gonna do this, let's see. We're gonna do something. I'm gonna do this carefully. It's gonna be a careful, and I guess it would fall under R&D.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, oh no, that's not okay. There's a fringe space, but no dice in it because you are a human.
Right.
You're a
Okay.
cyborg, but you're a human.
Right.
Fringe is like, I'm a supernat and have extra powers. So yeah, you R&D,
Okay.
careful.
So that's 11, 4. So that's 15.
Okay, that is a succeed with style. Explain to me what. So the adrenal glands themselves are are kind of two little blobs on top of the kidneys.
Yes.
But what do you do, and where do you put? What do you make, and where do you put it?
It's going to be
Freezing.
It's going to be an energy absorber, and it's going to be able to pull energy in, kind of the way the Mara was pulling energy in from people, but it's going to pull in energy from the world around it. Like magical ley lines, things like that.
Okay,
and it's
so
gonna boost the adrenal system.
So you're turning him into a Tesla conduit.
Yes, but using natural energy, not having to plug into the wall.
Well, that's what Tesla was like. Let's just get electricity from the air.
Right.
Okay. Yes. So, yes, you basically turn him into a passive lightning rod. And as you are sitting in the office, and give me your mad scientist laugh as you've done it, as you have succeeded.
Science.
And as you do that, the lights in the room dim a little bit. And the radio, which wasn't the junky radio that wasn't even on, starts going zzz a little bit. But he kind of wakes up a little, just like, what? Oh, what just happened?
It's okay. You'll be fine, Chester. An ambulance is on the way.
Oh, okay. Why can I hear the electricity?
Oh, it's okay. You'll get used to that. I promise.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God, they stole my liver.
Oh no, his liver is quite intact. Still inside too.
No, it was Charlie the Unicorn.
Yep. Oh, they took my kidney.
That's it.
Oh, hey, look,
Magical
my kidney.
Neoperidine, Shirley. All right. So yes, Ratchet, you come back, and by that time the ambulance has come by to take a third or more person, and they're like starting to like, okay, we're gonna have to send some authorities to check for gas leaks because this is ridiculous. And Carl's just like, I will help you in any way I can, because yeah, this is weird.
Yep, I said the free coffee next to the free coffee sign and leave it.
Yep. He stacks the extra boxes behind and puts out, a bunch of cheap paper cups, and he's like, free, and everyone's like, ooh, free coffee. And
I make sure the EMTs understand that he does have a little bit of, I had to suture up his back because he kind of fell on some sharp objects. So just to let them know and the doctors know he's got some fresh sutures down there.
Yeah, they check on that and they're like, oh, good job. Are you a doctor?
Yes, I am a doctor.
Oh, okay. Do you want to ride to the hospital with him?
No.
Nice.
He should be fine.
Okay, good work. And because you rolled a 15. That's a very clean suture job, and you just happen to have those on you. A surgical instrument in the middle of an
For no
improv
reason.
theater.
No reason.
I was a Boy Scout back in Germany. We are always prepared.
Okay. Improv.
I remember the I remember the Boy Scouts in Germany. I remember when you were a kid,
No, not those scouts. I promise you, I was not one of those.
And they put him on the stretcher and wheel him out, and are just like, how much are people drinking today? Just at least one EMT is muttering like, what freaking comedians day drinking? Like, what is wrong with people? And and as they're pulling him through the lobby, the lights in the lobby dim a little bit and goes zzz, and Ratchet, that seems weird to you, but you're not sure why that's happening. Just that Hair Doctor is smirking a satisfied smirk, and just shrugs. And and you get on. They bring him onto the ambulance and start the siren, and the siren's just a little quieter and kind of not working quite right. Takes them a few minutes to restart the engine. And like,
He's Alpha 1. I can't report him to anybody.
I mean, you can write the report, but will anyone actually read it?
I'm gonna leave a note for Stogie with Fran.
That will actually gain some traction. Stogie's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
I am gonna leave note with Fran about 2 possible new recruits. One referenced in the other. Carl is one, and if her doctor did something bucky about electricity with this other guy, he might have to, be pulled in. That goes. The second one goes along with the note for Stogie.
If there's not video, it did not happen.
You're assuming there wasn't a camera in the office?
Indeed.
This is an improv theater. Why would there be a camera in the office? It's not like improv theaters stream now. Oh, wait. So, Fran has...
Technology's not my friend.
Fran has the once you all reconvene with Fran, she has the sense to look at Chester's bio page on the website. And it is, where... Oh, for fuck's sake, where did I write it?
It's on the nowhere
It's
notes.
a running gag. I've done this more than 3 times, so it is no longer funny.
In the words of Kermit the Frog, yeesh, a running gag.
Dirty Harry runs by. No, that's a running gag.
Oh, this crowd's getting ugly. If you think the crowd is ugly, you should see the dancing girls.
Lady wrestlers! Lady wrestlers!
Fuck it, I'm looking at my notes.
Sam the Eagle.
Sam is one of the best.
Sorry,
Sam
chat,
was a
there's
Karen
nothing.
before Karen.
That does not sound culturally uplifting.
Here we go. New York City for Demon Hunters. Plot threads. Here we go. So, according to his biography, he was the... Wow! That was a noise, because only on my end. What just happened? Oh, thank you for following Great Justice Games.
Oh.
We don't run this system of one-shots every week, just when I haven't managed to find an indie game GM, because my Spoonie problems have been horrible. So, what Fran notices in his bio is that he went to Ohio State for theater. He was an improv teacher at Akron Community College for like a decade. And then suddenly moves to New York, starts taking classes at the Draw Theater, and becomes a teacher very quickly. He apparently applied for and received a grant from the Van Zon Limited Corporation, and apparently they also do theater grants. They also were the shell company that financed the renovation at the Ghostbusters house. So this is a monster, Monstre, I believe it's spelled.
Yeah.
Basically, one of the Brotherhood's ancient nemesis was the Order of the Infernal Scepter, which supposedly got shut down in the 60s, but a lot of people are not convinced because not all of the bad guys were recovered or killed or jailed. From the ashes of that, Monster started, which doesn't really have a central, end the world scheme like the Scepter guys did. It's more or less monsters, bad guys, mad scientists, etc., who want to keep doing what they're doing and have formed a mutual protection pact with each other from the Brotherhood. So it is literally a monster of the Brotherhood's own creation. And they do have some financial backing, so they form shell companies and finance other monsters.
I would have suspected Crawling Chaos because they're the business people, but yeah.
Well, I mean, they run a gaming company. That does not automatically equate good business sense.
Fair.
Also, you did not get any sense of douchecrafty and horror in this, and that's basically what they do.
Yeah, fair.
Crawling Chaos is trying to end the world in a very specifically tentacly way, using RPGs and MMOs.
I mean, that's one way to get gamers in there.
Yep. How else do you get worldwide thousands of gamers performing the same ritual in the same wacky burn your ear language? Anyway, so yeah, Chester's probably not going to become a Brotherhood agent, but he will be watched for a good long time. And yeah. They are not able to immediately get the so there was definitely a deal made. But by the time your vacation is over, they have not gotten the details of what exactly it entailed. But like Del Close said, comedians selling their souls to further their careers is nothing.
Dime a dozen.
Yeah, dime a dozen. Like, freaking everyone does that. So yes, that is tonight's game. Del Close for comfort.
Mm-hmm.
An improv story. And yes, I basically took the names of the three major, or as of 10 years ago, three major improv houses, did a thesaurus search, and word saladed all of the names to protect the guilty. Except, well, the draw is obviously the Magnet Theater, which is where I went. I don't actually remember if they participated in the Del Close Marathon as a theater. But anyway. So, yeah. What was it? United Citizens Brigade Theater became Company Denizens Cooperative Theater, so CDC. The People's Improv Theater, or the PIT, became the KIT, or the SIT, which is Civilians Impromptu Theater. And, yeah, this was very fun for me.
I was wondering why Del Close would be going to the CDC. I'm like, why the hell is he going to the Center for Disease Control?
Yeah.
I actually thought that.
Well, that was the point, yeah. An improv theater would totally do that on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
So yes, chat, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I know, we alternate every other week. This Demon Hunters is an indie game. So this is still Indie Game Saturday, and we generally do indie game one-shots. If you know a TTRPG writer, developer, fan, etc., who would like to GM a 3-hour game stream of that game on our channel, like, call us, join our Discord. There are 8 bajillion links to our Discord and chat, and talk to us about it there, because downside, we can't pay anybody. But if you want to be able to put your game on a reel, or just say, this is what it looks like, it's on the internet, we can help you with that. Because I couldn't go to Gen Con this year, and I need my dose of new, fun, weird games. And this is
Gen Con. It was fun.
Absolutely.
Damn my spoony body and its needs to not, get sick and die.
Yeah, that was... I ended up spending most of the time at the booth because I was doing UDS demos, and by the end of Gen Con, I was very sick of Ultimate Dungeon Showdown, the card game.
That happens.
Playing 10 games of it a day, and just like, nah, I'm done.
I'm
never play
now.
this game again.
I'll play it again, but not for a while.
Need some space.
Yeah.
You need a break. You're temporarily breaking up with the CCG, or semi-CCG. But yeah, so I'm the GM and channel producer, and my body is failing, so the production has been a little weird lately. We have this on Saturday nights. This week is Indie Game Night, where we do one-shots. Again, hit us up if you want to do a one-shot, because, we're a channel full of streaming noobs, and, more noobs welcome. On alternating Saturdays, I run my consistent campaign, Exit to Eden, which is New World of Darkness in space. And
in space!
And it's ridiculous. 6,000 years in the future of the New World of Darkness, humanity has colonized the stars, the universe, everything, and then the veil fell down after a race called the True Fae tried to conquer the galaxy openly. Because why wouldn't the True Fae try to do that in a sci-fi setting? So it is very interesting. the whole setting is genderqueer, and it's amazing. Apparently next week I will be very much torturing my players at a very fancy party. And it's gonna be fun. For me.
I've been looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it's best to be a little bit of a masochist if you're playing World of Darkness or White Wolf games. So, yeah. Pinkies out? Oh. More than pinkies are out. Some people just ain't wearing no clothing, because this is a rich future asshole party.
Mm-hmm.
Some assholes are actually out. Anyway, so that's me. I've been your GM, and I have the magical superpower of making a Demon Hunters mod in an afternoon. But it's almost cheating to have New York City Deep Lore to draw on. So that's me. Also, we have started a Tuesday night game, which has been Vampire the Masquerade. It will continue. If you watch the VODs, John is describing that as sort of the pitch pilot of the series, so things will be a little bit different going forwards, because he told me, and I didn't realize he hadn't told anyone else, that he was going to add a Cthulhu vibe to a vampire game, which I thought was fun, but wasn't popular with everyone. So let's say that that's, the original series, and now we're going into the OVA. So same characters, slightly different setup maybe, we'll see. But I get to play a Malkavian, and it's fun. But that won't start again until probably early December, because holidays. And our schedule will be wacky for months because the holidays. So join our Discord. So if you're not sure what's happening, just ask us, or rather yell at me, and I'll remember to post it finally. Everyone loves a Malkavian. Yep. Oh, I didn't realize how much I'd missed them until I started playing one again. My natural habitat is Changeling the Dreaming, so it's just how it goes. Anyway, so that's me. Merc, let's do outros while I look for someone to raid. Ratchet, who are you when you are not the great nephew of Mariaman?
There's a lot more greats in there, but yeah. I'm Merc. I played Ratchet this evening. This channel is what my online presence. I do some stuff for Zoe, but it's not streaming stuff. It's just like back-end website stuff. But you should definitely watch The Reliables on Mondays. Not this Monday, but the next Monday, the 29th, is when that will be back in their new studio. So no more train noises, hopefully. Or at least...
Aw, but that was the best part.
Yeah, but now, they got fancier green screens and a bigger stage area. So hopefully, if we manage to get to a dance break, we can make them actually dance.
And we can fit all the players on one camera.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, so that's something to look forward to. September the 29th on the Zombie Orpheus Twitch channel. Not September, November.
Time is not real anymore. Not a lot of people actually running games tonight. Okay. Herr Doctor, who are you when you are not a canon character from the Demon Hunters universe?
I don't know how I picked it. I just did. But I am Tempto. I actually run the streaming channel Tempto 2099, where I am a variety streamer, mostly video games. I'm working on getting into Warhammer 40k painting. But right now I'm currently running through Demon Souls. It's my first playthrough, and it's insane. So definitely go check that out. I have a couple VODs up. Yeah, that's pretty much me.
Okay, so the only people gaming tonight are Polished Cryptid, and it looks like they're doing D&D on the high seas and some kind of season finale, so that should be fun.
Ooh.
And we ended game early, and now it's 10:15. Okay, I don't know. Time is nothing. Time has no meaning.
It's just a construct.
Time is a construct. We're in the quarantine still. There's an apocalypse going on, dear gods. So yeah, join our Discord. That's all I can say. Shit's cray, right? Shit's ridiculous right now. Everything's all over the place, and now we're going into the holidays. Just join our freaking Discord. Oh. Hair Doctor bleeped for a moment. Okay,
Yep.
So we are gonna raid Polished Cryptid. And yeah, so get ready to raid with jazz hands or whatever is your preference.
Well, Mick Jazz Hands is in the chat too, so.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, thank you new people for hanging out. I hope you come back. If you're watching this in the future as a VOD, thank you for the use of your eyeballs. It's very nice of you. And until we come back, whatever the next time is for nerdy, distracting shenanigans from our awful apocalyptic lives, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, have something nice to eat next week, turkey or otherwise, if you're not into it. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.